But we'll close out this position last here on REPL that we were holding out for the big weather into the mid-90s. Doesn't look like it's going to happen, so we'll flatten out that. And with that, we're going to send you to the big kahunas, Neil and Sean, who are over there. Joseph and I will see you tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. Peace, boys.
Thank you, Sharif. Welcome back, everybody. Look, the market is trying to bounce off some of those lows, and there was an Oracle story. I don't know how big the deal is going to be. OpenAI and Oracle to announce the data expansion in Texas. Yeah, so Oracle bounced off the lows, and the market bounced off the lows. So I don't know, like the timing of it. The market was bouncing off the bottom, and it kind of bounced with it. Helped it get into the off. It's worth watching. I mean, Oracle down 5% on its own here. So I want to make sure at least we got to that story. I don't know. I caught the tail end of that the miners conversation. Really, the best we can see today. Charts must not look
good at all. What? Is Unity not working? I don't think my Unity is working. So anyways, guys.
Were you muted again?
It must have been muted.
Oh my God.
So anyway.
Still on vacay mode.
No, we're going to talk about, it happens to everybody around here. Yeah, it is what it is. Yeah. But let's talk about just a quick second. When I was talking about that Oracle story, it's just a data center deal with OpenAI. So the market was bouncing off the lows when Oracle bounced off the lows at this point. So I think it was, maybe it helped it a little bit. Oracle, one of the weaker names here, selling off pretty much all day when the market wasn't going, and obviously selling it off when the market was going to the downside. But this could be an interesting one if it's going to finally hold on to that $300 level. I want to keep an eye on this if it can get through the volume weighted average price. I'm only in one position. It's Virgin Galactic, and that was that $4 we mentioned earlier today. If it can't break $4, I think you look to short it. And I'm looking to get back into the Intel short, because that lost that $30 level for sure. Let me know if, can you guys test my Unity? Because I want to make sure that's up and running.
Yeah, all right. We're just in the same old stuff over here, short, of course, so we'll just continue to watch out for that trade. Yeah, this is the same trade that we had all morning long, and it just started printing lower. We just started taking a couple outs here. Andre, show my screen over there, my guy. There it goes. So, you know, nice move all the way down. We pick some up in this area. And we'll just wait to see what is going on. I mean, yeah, September generally is a low month for stocks. It's the worst month out of the 12 for returns on the S&P 500. But there it goes, all the way to the downside. And we were talking about this early, man. I mean, our stop was the 60s. So here we go again, man. Here's another 20-cent worth of a stop to give us 185 cents. So 9 to 1. Right now, we had a decent piece on as well. This AMD trade, I don't have. It shows I have some on, but it's like one share basically. That went all the way down to 159 and change. Oh boy, right there for AMD. We'll see if there's some sort of a to do here with it. You know what? I might as well just get out of it. We'll put some money in our pocket, get out of the AMD trade right here. But yeah, no, that's what's been going on over here. It's really just the print factory happening on the TQQs. As Sharif said, man, I really appreciate Sharif telling you guys when it's a little bit of a rougher day or whatever. I think that's important. You know, we just be honest with some of the trades that we have on board. We had NVIDIA early. This is what happens when you have risk management. You get out, and now NVIDIA's bleeding. I thought buying yesterday at 175 was a gift, but apparently that gift is coming right back in right now pretty decently. So there goes NVIDIA to the downside again right there. Tesla we tried early and thankfully got out of that one and was able to be fine with this. And then the only other trade we have is this AMD one right here that I didn't even realize I have. So we're going to punch out of that one. And then now we have the TQs, which is the banger of the day, of course, for me here being down now $2. So yeah, it's going to be a good one here coming in. Bitcoin struggling a little bit down into 111 again. I like Bitcoin, but not until 100,000. I think it looks like we're going to get into the, I don't know, we could get to 108 again. We'll talk more about this as it continues to fall here with the broader market. So yeah, man, so far so good here today trading. We're going to go 2 for 4 So, you know, the winners in AMD and the TQs and the losers in NVIDIA and Tesla. So, yeah, that's what we're doing, and we're going to find some opportunities for you. The Big Bear AI army is strong today. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was going to get to Big Bear AI, but Mayank in the chat, I hope I'm saying that right, because I know I have a buddy whose friend is Mayank, and I met him a couple times. So that's how I'm going to pronounce it. You just bought some BRK.B. Time to hold. Yeah, I bought 2 things over lunch. One of them was Amazon. I think I said that one. At least I think I said it this morning. But like once we get in the midday of the show, I'm going to pick up some Amazon because it was flushing on that Prime stuff, which we'll talk about it. I mean, I don't think it's a big deal, but you know, we have some opinions on what they do to some of these big cap tech companies to extract some taxes. I just think it's tax. But BRK.B, 200 period hold. Like, we've been talking about accumulation a lot when a stock goes into like an accumulation phase where it just sits there. And this has just sat there for 2 weeks. And I was looking across the board, like what to buy in this dip. Like, what do I like? And this was at the 200 period, and I like that. So, you know, BRK.B, I'm with you on this one. And then Amazon, yuck. I mean, Amazon was bleeding before the market was bleeding. Like when we sat down this morning, right off the bat, Amazon was tanking, and it was because of that Prime story. I'm sure we'll get to that at some point, right in there at the lows. It also happened to be around that 222, which, I don't know, I just kind of like the number, but that's nothing to do with it. I just think when you get one of these names, you know, on one of those panic sell-off days, like if I was going to buy in front of the 200 period anyways, might as well pull the trigger on a little bit here today. So we'll get into the reason why this looks bad, but I think it's a bit of I think it's a bit of a, I don't know. I think every single time we look at the regulators, and whether it's antitrust this or Google breakup that, or you're making it too hard for people to cancel, you're just looking to get a few $1 billion out of them in a settlement, which usually ends up happening. It's a slap on the wrist. They generate a ton of cash, and then you end up moving on. So I always treat these as buying opportunities, and we'll see. When you're not going to sell it forever, does it really matter? But you still got to pick it up.
All right, if we're ready, we can go over to Sharif and figure out what's going on. There he goes. I like all this stuff. Look at the news on the inside. There we've got one position on, and it is your TQQ, the market short. So let's see what winds up happening here. Yeah, Oracle's going to be a good one. We had Boxlight yesterday, BBAI, Open Door. Let's go find out which names you guys chose for us to talk about.
Welcome to the afternoon rundown, everyone. The show you decide what we talk about every afternoon. The big boys, they're locked, they're loaded, and they're ready to look at the tickers as cited by you. But the only way to get those tickers, hold on, hey, that away, is to get into the chat every day and vote for your favorite. Oh, Andre, you're killing me, brother. That way is to get into the chat and vote for your favorite tickers every day. You got to throw in that $ before whatever ticker your heart so desires. You can vote up until 2 o'clock, guys. Let's look at all 4 major averages, and all 4 major averages are negative on the day as the selling started coming in here in the afternoon. The ES down 0.6%, with the NQ also down 0.75%, and the Dow down about 0.3. The best performing major average on the day is the Russell 2000, barely negative, down only 0.1%. The first ticker, as decided by you guys, Big Bear AI, and what a move up here, trying to take out $8, up 12.5%. Here's the headline: Big Bear AI and SMX collaborate to enhance maritime awareness for the U.S. Navy. Yet another U.S. government contract. First, we heard about airports in Chicago, then it was Nashville. This time, it's the U.S. Navy, boys.
The Navy, in the Navy. BBAI pulled back into the prior high of the day. And I think as long as this shows its relative strength, we talked about where the target might be last week, and it seems like it got there. But like the play was pull back into prior high. When it stair steps to the upside, your resistance turns into support. But the trend break, it's fully complete. Like it broke the trend down here at the 200. That was at $5 we were talking about just like a week and a half ago. Gets to the 50, barely slows down, and it goes all the way into that 850 on the daily chart. So you pretty much got all of it. I think today the next stop would be breaking out above 850. Maybe you dip into 7 first. I don't know. Like it would seem like it would make some sense that it would have a consolidation or would slow down a little bit before we made that move for the actual breakout at 850. I'd look this afternoon. Can it hold 8? And then maybe there's a long off 8 to play inside the 8 to 850 range, and then look for that 850 break a little bit later on. So BBAI, it was just play into the prior high, and when the market's weak like this, you got to find a runner if you like the long trade. A lot of times, those are the things that will be going. Like whether it was Rocket Lab, I know was pretty strong. Plug Power, which I guess we'll talk. Yeah, Plug Power on the list. That was pretty strong earlier today. Those are the kind of things that were able to hold up when the market can't, because when it's a growth play and it's explosive and short selling and short sellers get burnt, then it's going to have its own juice. I just feel like that 850 level was going to be too much when you're talking about a 20% move, right? It's got to slow down a little bit somewhere.
All right, amazing trade over there by Neil. We have BigBearAI in the long-term account, or the swing account. We've been really nailing this, and it's been another proud moment because we went, we're long 4 out 650, 750, 850. We did our exact plan, and we got hit at 850. Or I don't know if we did get hit at 850 today. No, 848. I'm at 850, so we missed that trade right there. But yeah, so far so good with everything with BigBearAI. I'm telling people to watch out for it because of the levels, right? And I think I'm going to stay with that. You got to be careful. That top wick of 10, 1050 is what we got to be careful with. So for me, BigBearAI continues to be an absolute monster holding, and let's just wait to see where it goes from here. I'm still holding 35%. Once we get this 850, which we didn't get yet, I guess I should check my account. But we're going to wait for that to blow higher, man. I love BigBearAI. We've been talking about it for months. Congratulations to everybody who has this, man. You're in my good books right there. So there it goes. BigBearAI, nice move higher. Let's go back over and find out the next stock you guys want to talk about. I have a feeling it's going to be OpenDoor.
It is, Sean, absolutely. OpenDoor really rocketing up here. Oh, down. 11 1/3%. After one of their top shareholders sold about $95 million worth of shares. Access Holding, one of the top shareholders of OpenDoor, losing a key technical level, guys, at 8.5.
Thank you. And I don't know, how many times are we supposed to say the pun about the door being shut on OpenDoor today?
Hopefully no more.
Nah, we'll leave it at that one. But it has. Ultimately, this thing, for it to be back down, like a 30% retracement from the highs, you have to remember where this thing has come from. Like, it was a $1 stock when this whole thing started. So, even if you bought it then, there's some longs which are absolutely working. We talked about how the short flow was increasing, even as it was going into $1. There were people shorting it for let alone $5, $6, and obviously at $11, some people have won pretty nicely. So it's not that it can't have a second salvo, but when it's on the back end of the trade, you want to see it find a bid. You saw it find a bid when it lost 5, right? It found the bid at $2. You can see that there. When it failed to break out at 5 here, it found a bid at $4. So it's in the OpenDoor just happens to be in the let's find a bid mode, and today has shown you nothing. There's been no sign yet. Maybe we have a double bottom, but we haven't retested the low of the day to be able to know that. So I think you're waiting. I think you're basically in short mode until it shows some kind of consolidation on the daily. And then when everyone forgets about it a bit, you can go back over and start to look for some squeeze plays. Throw in the fact that obviously you've had a lot of talk this morning. Jamie Dimon, some others were mentioning how hard it would be for the Fed to continue to cut rates in this environment. That doesn't necessarily bode well for them if we start having lower expectations in terms of rate cuts for 2026. I don't think that helps whatsoever. But what can help everybody out there is BTCC, because in 14 years they've had 0 hacks and 0 excuses. BTCC.com delivers when others don't. Trade Bitcoin up to 500x, even Tesla, gold, and Forex. With smart copy trading, you don't just watch the pros, you can also trade like them. Regulated in the US, China, or Canada, and Europe, and trusted by 6.8 million traders. TraderTv.live also has an exclusive. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description box for a 15% deposit bonus. BTCC.com, where the pros trade, and now so can you.
Like yesterday, we got the quote that Eric Jackson was looking at, that better stock, and you know, the minute that was the news, it was game over for Open Door. So yeah, I mean, here's where the pump is going to be now. We saw it yesterday. It's been pumping forever, and if you guys have been watching this show anytime, you know I've been talking about this market being rigged, and I mean, this is another example of that. Just, you know, talking it up. There it goes, ripping to the upside. So this one will eventually fall as well. But right now, better is getting going. And I just think that a lot of the focus now of EMJ Capital and his pump crew is over on BETR. So if you were part of that yesterday, feel like there was a great opportunity to short it. Obi and I were talking about there back in. And then that $50 level looks like a pretty good one to be able to hold. And look where we held today, right at past and prior support and resistance level here of $59.60. So we'll wait to see if that winds up holding it. But yeah, for Open Door, I still like the stock. It's coming. I said yesterday $7 would be an area. So right into there, you know. I mean, we talked about what, you know, the room that the Nasdaq had to the low side if and when it ever failed. And you're seeing that kind of move happen right now. So I just worry that if you don't hold in and around, I guess it's more like 650 to 7, then yeah, the next move down is probably back into this 4 where the 50 period moving average is. So I'm just going to wait to see if that winds up happening. But I've never been in Open Door. Like I said, I'm in BBAI, I'm in OSCR, I'm in Webull. So that, for me, that's like enough experimental names for me. So I'm going to hold off on Open Door, but congratulations to anybody that has those shorts. We've been talking about it. We had Mitch on, he was talking about it last week and mentioned some stuff today about it as well. So yeah, I would say just stay prudent with your trade thesis. And you know, if Open Door works for you, go for it. But I would watch out. 650 breaking, and I think it's a much bigger problem than what you're looking at right now.
All right, guys. Mizuho maintaining the outperform rating on Tesla, but boosting that price target up nicely from 375 to 440. Analyst Vijay Rakesh maintaining that level, basically saying they like the Model 2, they like the robo-taxi, and they also like Elon Musk buying about $1 billion worth of his stock, as well as the pay package. They say it aligns closely with Tesla's current goals, guys. So Tesla down 2% on the day, but trying to hold some key levels here at 420.
Yeah, like there was a moment this morning when Tesla was holding decently, and it basically just hold a prior close price like 434 here. Like I like the level, so I went in and did the dip buy off that level, but I did not anticipate it would fall apart like this on Tesla. So like that 434, great, but when it broke for good, that was absolutely nasty. What I don't love about this, okay, well, if I start with what's not that bad about Tesla, what's not that bad is at least you're holding on to this consolidation above $400, right? So like since we've broken the 400 level, there was one pullback into 400 and then higher lows all the way through. So at least we've got that consolidation, but that's what's kind of okay. What isn't all that great is sort of the heaviness of these sell-offs, and like the last time it's had a couple of red days, it's like, okay, small up days after breaking 400, but hammer down. Small up day, reversal candle, hammer down. So I think this 420 level could be pretty important for the next couple of, at least if it doesn't break today, certainly tomorrow as well. I think if you lose that, like the stock pulling back, like you could see 400 pretty quickly if we lose 420 is a simple way to put it. Do not like the way that it's selling up here. Like small up days and then big hammer down days for Tesla. Still technically consolidating, but it's starting to give me a little bit of concern. I mean, it's been such a great rally for Tesla. Like if you bought this one either in the low 2s or in like this 280s and you didn't ring any register, well, today's the kind of day that would make me sell some. I mean, you got to take some profit. You got to move like that.
All right, talking about taking some profit here. We're now $2 in on this TQ trade, and it's near the lows again. I just put a stop for half of what we have left right here at 60. If we break the 50 period moving average, which we haven't done since time, so hopefully that will continue to move down. All right, we had Tesla written down on here, so we always talk about our sticky note trading, and there it is. Just follow me at TraderTV, Sean, if you want to get the trades. But right into here, Tesla this morning was written on here, 438 long. We got to see if it holds 436. Does not, right? We got some good China news. The area to hold is 436. I mean, it's exactly what we wrote down more clearly and concisely in here. And then, you know, just for Tesla, the trade right there was that 436 area. So we bought 438s. That turned out to be okay. Should have just took $1.50 on the whole thing and called it what it was, but that's okay. And then we bought again and just kind of lost a little bit here back and forth. Then bought this dip into 436, ran it to 439 again. So like, you know, at that point we were far enough. We're at the Maple Leafs game tonight. Anybody going? I'll see you guys there. But you know, like that hot dog cannon that they have. And then even though it's t-shirts. And then once it broke 436. We got out. That just should have been, I guess, the shortable area. So yeah, Tesla downside. You know, I really like the stock. I just, you know, today we're short the Nasdaq. We're short the Nasdaq when the Nasdaq was green or something, and now we're down almost 1%. So we had our spidey sense open for the short today. Just did not see this happening. Dramatic move right there for Tesla at about 130. Just whoops all the way to the downside, like aggressively. So they're selling it off, man. They're taking some profits here today, and no doubt Tesla's going to be back. And I would say that, yeah, you do have some dip zone areas. I think tomorrow, maybe around 415 or so, is where we could stop and think about going long. But I'm just going to continue to hold this trade that we've got on board right now, and we'll deal with it as we go. But yeah, for me, Tesla, we took a shot. Yesterday was a huge move higher. Today it's a decent move lower. I'd say a huge move lower from 440 down to 424. It's $15 straight to the downside, but we got the short, so we're doing okay. Oh, space. Yeah, that's a funny one because I never know the price of Virgin Galactic. Now $4, so I see that. Right there.
No, well, there was Rocket Labs and
yeah. It's a name I haven't seen in a while. That's good. AST, what was it? AST Holdings? ASTS? Whatever. ASTS, Astis, which I like to call it. I always forget the exact name of that company. Both of those were rallying and space was going up in sympathy. And when it went exactly to $4, and you look at the daily, it was a 200 period. So I think that was a bit of a sell. Before we get into UNH, I was going to answer, CompuCare team, I was going to answer here, but I'll just answer you right now. Because I did mention that I bought some Amazon in the personal account. Bro, be honest, is Amazon a good swing long? Good long and swing maybe 1 week. Oh, good long and swing maybe 1 week. Okay, so when I say I'm buying it for my long term, it's a company that I want to own some more of that I don't feel like I have enough of it. So for myself, I'm just buying the dip to hold it forever. So I'm not trying to tell anybody that I'm not swinging Amazon. Like I didn't buy Amazon in my retirement account today so that I could sell it next week. Not at all. And I actually, you know, usually if I was going to swing on a dip, like after earnings, there's dip, there's hold, like along like that here on like the second or third day when you're catching it holding a low, like that's more of a trade. Like buying it because it's down and I want to buy some dips in the stock in the long term is very different from trading it. Like I usually, if I'm trading it on a dip, then I want something like what we saw after earnings, where it settled for a couple of days and bounced. So I don't really like to catch the falling knife in a trade basis, but in the long term, it's fine because I just feel like, oh, well, market's coming off. Like, what is the thing I wanted to own more of? So hopefully that answers. Didn't really mean to. Yeah, again, you always just ask us. Like, if we're talking about, oh, I bought this stock or whatever, like time frame matters, obviously. Like, I have swing trades. Like, I have shot plays. Like, Webull, I think, is more of a shot play than a long-term play to me. If that doesn't start working again, I might consider trimming some. But let's talk some UNH because that is a swing for me.
Yeah, guys, a couple of good days here for UNH. Yesterday, coming off the Schneid at that 332 level, was making lower lows. Nice move up yesterday, nice move up today. Same thing on both days, guys. No headlines to account for the move up 1.84.
Yeah, I think this one's technical for UNH. And, you know, when tech goes down, maybe sometimes you have some strength and it goes to other spaces. But, you know, UNH, look at the accumulation at 300 was real. It happened twice and worked once, right? So when it accumulated at 300 before, it wasn't worth anything. I mean, you could have had like 7-8% if you took it, or you could have gotten out flat when it failed it. and then we accumulated 300 again. You take another shot at it, and this time it just happens to be going. But what I liked about UNH is simply it pulled back, and the resistance that was there when it held 300 before has now turned into support. So it just looked like a day two, like breakaway bounce play. I trimmed some because it failed 350, so I think that makes some obvious sense. Like if you didn't like selling some profit at 300 in this range, I don't know, it doesn't make any sense not to, in my opinion. Because at some point, if we do end up with like a leg down in the market, and this is like a pullback off the highs, well, eventually that'll bleed to everything else, even if it's been a good growth name. But I think the new support is the prior resistance on UNH. As long as it holds that, I think it's intact for a run at that 200 period moving average. But I think it makes some sense to take some profit on this one. It's been bled so badly. Ultimately, healthcare hasn't exactly been the best sector either. So, trimming some profit on a day like today, or at least in the last couple of weeks in that 350 area has been pretty good. And hopefully it can hold that 330. If it doesn't, then I think you're in trouble again.
Okay, I was just actually looking at OSCR because, thinking now it's down 2%. This is a play that we're long 13 bucks. I traded along on the show with you guys just before earnings, and I wanted to actually double check to see when their earnings were again, and it's November the 6th. OSCR right here, again, similar there, a health name. You could see it lost money last quarter, so we got to be very, very careful with what we're doing with this name, right? So OSCR Health, good run so far on OSCR, and thinking right now about trimming some out there for OSCR. So especially if we lose this $18 or so area right there coming back out. Next time this thing gets to 20, I think that's definitely an area to think about getting out of OSCR. But, November 6th, like it's still so far away. Like I was hoping, I wanted.
It's actually not that far. It's only a month and a half.
Well, trading wise, it's an eternity. But right here, $20. I don't know. I don't want to wait. Like if I wait to November 6th, this thing could be at $24. It could be down here at $13. So yeah, we're just gonna wait to see what winds up happening here on OSCR. Want to try to give it one more quarter, because although it wasn't a great quarter, we still were able to have a nice move up there. So, yeah, I had a little bit of a problem at 20. This is not a healthcare name or anything like that, but Eli Lilly is a name that I like in this space. We saw yesterday Pfizer with Minestra getting involved now with the oral GLP-1, or at least trying to buy someone to get that all figured out. So their investment there at Minestra, I believe it was yesterday, creating a nice upside move there for Pfizer today. So tonight, though, it's not on the board. Tonight we have Micron. So we're going to talk about that as we get ready for the earnings release tonight. So that should be a fun one there. But yeah, okay, let's go back over. We'll talk quickly about Plug Power, and we'll see what's powering that thing today.
All right, guys, Plug Power had 10 straight consecutive days of green. Today, it looks like we're going to end that trend, at least for now, down 4.5%, despite making local highs here in the pre-market all the way up to 316. Here's the headline. Plug Power is hosting an investor tour of its Georgia green hydrogen production plant with institutional investors and Oppenheimer. The Georgia facility closed its strongest month on record in August of this year, delivering 324 metric tons of green hydrogen with a 97% uptime and a 99.7% availability. The market did like that until it didn't, down now 4.5.
Yeah, this one was really popular in the morning. And what's weird is for about the first 20 minutes, it looked like it was doing exactly what, as a runner play, it was doing what BBAI was able to do, or like, who was the other? There was another stock I was talking about at lunchtime. That doesn't really matter. Like the pullback, either pullback in a prior high, maybe it was Palantir, or pullback in the pre-market low, and then breakout. And that setup for a smaller cap name is usually really good, right? Like you dip, maybe trap some people short underneath VWAP here, and then you break out that $3. But that's, now all of a sudden it's the complete opposite. Now it's a failed breakout. When you're up that many days in a row, you're due for something like this. It felt to me, and again, I didn't trade, so obviously didn't like it enough to trade it. It felt like it had some more room on the daily chart. Because like you have multiple levels on this daily here at about 3, oh, there we go. Now it went too far back instead of like one load. About 3/4 to 340, and it just felt like, yeah, you'd have a decent chance to make it into that range. Unfortunately, no. So this is going to be in a settle zone. The $2 level looks about as good as any for a pullback. That's the prior high on the daily. It's also a round number, which is, that never hurts. It failed 3, bounce off 2 kind of deal, and then it's a prior high on the daily. So I think you sit this one out after that big reversal, wait for it to retest $2 and see if it can hold that level, because that's a big reversal candle. And when that happens, usually you're thinking short at least a couple of days after being up like 9 in a row.
All right, we know everybody enjoys, obviously health. And right here, OGen is trying to figure that all out with over 3.8 million concussions reported each year in the United States alone. There is still no FDA-approved treatment. So NYSE Oragenics, symbol OGEN, is trying to change that with its first in-class intranasal drug designed for rapid brain access. There is a huge market available. If you'd like to find out more about Oragenics and what they have available, scan that QR code to learn and schedule a meeting today. We want to thank OGen for their continued sponsorship of the show.
It's not directly related, but it was a former Cincinnati Bengals running back, Rudy Johnson, unfortunately passed away. Apparently, I don't know, I read that it might have been a suicide, and every time the mind goes to, it's obviously tragic for his family, the mind goes to brain trauma and head injuries, and it's a fantastic thing if you can get an actual treatment for that, because obviously that's just, it's really sad. And if you're a fan of any sport, specifically certain ones that obviously have a little bit more, just a little bit more violence in them, like football. Like, I still love football, but it's something that's definitely needed. I'll get the Palantir Fox Gaming, because I know Palantir was, I alluded to it, and I do want to mention that stock, because that had a crazy reversal as well when it was so strong this morning. But I'm going to get out of this. I have a trailing stop now at 390 on Space, which, oddly enough, like, if it breaks 4, this seems like it could be a bit of a squeeze breakout. As I said, Astis and Rocket Labs were really strong today. Virgin Galactic essentially failed $4. The 200 period moving average on the daily as well had already been resistance on the stock, but we'll be out of that one if it ends up breaking through 390 on the way back through. But Palantir just went green again. So from breakout early to, hey, dip in the VWAP, then absolutely fell apart when the rest of the market fell apart. Now you're back into green. So 179.33 is where it closed. That's not really the level I'm looking at. I'm looking at the 179. Like, the initial bounce held 179. Like, if we can hold this, the stock can hold 179. Like, I'm looking at this for a potential retracement, not to VWAP, just to the prior low. Like, if this is a 10 bottom in the market, this was a tech name that was actually strong this morning, like really strong, at least early on, Palantir. And then throw in the fact that Palantir, it's still got a little bit of room to that high. Like, you felt like this move from the 50 period was going to get you to the all-time high in Palantir, so it's got a little bit of room to that. A little bit of a recovery play here for Palantir. Just want to see it hold that 179 on what might be a little bit of a dip coming in here. So that's one stock that I'm looking at least for a trade right now. I'm going to probably get into Intel short going into VWAP as well.
Yeah, yesterday's Intel trade was crazy to the short side, man. We had $30 short or something, and it absolutely tanked for us there yesterday. So here's the play for us on Intel yesterday. Just straight, 30 all the way down to 28.70. Man, we had ourselves a day yesterday. All right, I have a scanner up. It's hitting right now. Microsoft, Robinhood, Micron, Oracle. So let's have a quick little look. We know about Micron with the world's leaders in DRAM here. Micron is such a bellwether, right? So their Q4 is going to come today. And we're just going to figure out, if the CapEx spend is still there, what does Micron have, available here to trade? I was just going to look at, Adara wrote down the expected move for me here, Microns, and join myself, Brian, and Adara here tonight. We didn't have Michael yesterday, but I think we'll keep Brian for tonight. The EPS here on Micron, $2.85, so a big one there. Revenue over $11 billion, and the implied move 9%. So we'll wait to see if there's going to be any sort of pull down for Micron. I mean, the way this has been positioned, I feel like it's positioned for perfection. So we got to be careful where we go here on Micron, and maybe even zoom out a little bit. We've already taken out this 155 level right there, and that's where I think we could trade back down to, especially if you get a 9% move on 16. That's $16, which puts us back into 150 if we miss, and we don't want to lose 150. And you know, with this market heading to the downside, part of it might be in anticipation that what if Micron, I mean, Micron's Sanjay Malhotra, I believe, is the CEO, very, very honest. You know, if Micron misses, they're going to tell you about it, and the guide's going to be bad. So we'll wait to see. I think he made a comment recently that he thought the stock price was a little bit jumpy there or something like that. But there goes NVIDIA down at 3% again. So, you know, I worry about NVIDIA and AMD and all that as we go. But yeah, that's the thing. Like, I think you might be right, save woman, man, peace, whatever. That Micron does have a good little downside trajectory behind it there tonight. But
what did you say the move was?
EPS 9.
9?
9.6. Prior move 4.1. Right there, but their EPS for Micron, they're looking at 285. So let me just type in Micron right here, and let's go find out, you know, what they reported last quarter. So, all right, 191. So you're still looking for quite a bit.
Sorry, there's actually like an infographic with all that. I'll send it to you, Sean. I just posted yesterday. It has all of the last quarters as well.
Yeah, perfect. So go to TTV Research, you'll be able to find that. But there it is right there. The estimated EPS right there, 286, right? 304, 317, 340. So you're looking here, maybe if I zoom in a little bit. So you're looking for, like, these are all the EPSs here, right? 286 is what we're looking for today. Then 304, these are the next 4 quarters. So it's quite a nice beat year over year. Well, that's their last quarter. But if you go into their same quarter last year, you know, you're down here 118. So what a movement there in the space. So if CapEx misses or they wind up falling down a little bit here, I could see quite a nice move for Micron to the sell side. But that's coming today at 4:30. I think it'll be earlier than that. So join us at 4 o'clock and we'll talk all about Micron and hopefully be able to see it around before 4:30, because as soon as 4:30 hits, I'm out of here. Yeah, man. Yeah, we have Maple Leafs game, so I'm taking Ottawa. We are playing the Ottawa. It's their first game.
Yeah, it's
the first
beginning of the
game. So excited for that. We've got great seats. So my daughter and I are going to go to that and hopefully have. She's missing video review with her team, so that's okay. She'll review her.
You can always watch that tape. You can always watch that.
Yeah, they watch tape 3 or 4 times a week. That team as an 11-year-old, so it's pretty intense.
Very quickly, only because you were talking about Micron.
Yeah.
So like the historical PE on Micron, like she's
a beast, dude.
Like this is one where it has one outlier, but it's actually a little bit high. Like I know it's, oh my God, but it was up at 137. Yeah, you gotta like throw that out. And if you look at Micron, it's actually drifting toward what has been the top of range. Like this is 15 years, like underneath 50 has been like a hard stop and spends so much time with a low PE. Like it'll hang around there with, you know, really like 10 sometimes single digits. And then you have these little spikes up, you know, above 30 into 50. And it's, you know, at the 30 range right now. Like it makes sense that you could see a bit of a pullback here from Micron, at least when you look at that chart. It has a tendency to spend a lot of time being a value play. And then that's an accumulation spot for you down there. Yeah, so it's worth a watch. You know the chip space is on the top of everyone's minds pretty much every earnings season. I think that's not going to change in here for sure. What else we got here? Oh, UUUU is going crazy. Energy fuels, is it?
Is it?
Are we? Oh, high of the day. UUUU. Triple top, 5% today. Oh, this stock is, it's been on one. But I mean, a lot of these growthy names have been on one for sure. How do we like this break? Volume's pretty good. You're into the triple. Actually, nice little pullback, so you have a chance to accumulate going into an actual break of 1650. This one should be on watch. I just had to. I'm like, when you were like, oh, I'm putting on my scanners. I realized when we restarted, I didn't restart my e-signal.
Oh, okay.
It didn't open up automatically. It opens up automatically sometimes, but yeah, when we had the power issue this morning, I didn't restart my e-signal, so I wasn't seeing any of those scanners up there. But good look. Maybe a 1650 break can happen. This is another blue sky setup. So be careful. When you're breaking out 52-week or all-time high where there's no levels out above, you have to be very careful for false breaks. Or like have yourself an out. Like to me, you take a break out of 16.5, give it to like, for me, I give it to like prior highs, like 16.38 to this prior high in here. So you can risk like 15 pennies when you throw in a couple cents for slippage.
Yeah, so I was, you guys, we talked about this TQQ trade previously, right? And I mean, I was going to get out if it broke 60. That turned out to be a pretty good level because it didn't break. So, and then now we're going to take some out at 30s and wait to see if we can get a little bit of a lower take. I'm bidding 22s right now on this one too. This is a $2 winner. So this is going to hold the fort for me today on this one. So yeah, making some back there, what we lost earlier on NVIDIA and whatnot. Oracle, all right, what other names you guys want to talk about right now? Oracle, let's go. It's a New York stock. Gotta let this load. There it is. It has to be .NY on our system, so down 5% there right now. Let me just double check to see what you guys want us to talk about right here. We do have our stock visualizer up and running right now again. So the number one stock that everyone wants to know about is, of course, Big Bear AI, but our Big Bear AI army around here is strong. You guys have been on Big Bear AI hopefully for a little bit, so it's nice to finally see it popping up. So that's really nice. Intel, I sold this at $30.70, only a quarter. I didn't get back into it, so we sold some Palantir as well. Better, we sort of talked about there. Amazon down to $220. I'm a buyer at $215-ish on Amazon. I'll buy that tomorrow. Tesla, $426 or so. Okay, we sort of had looked at that. UNH 350, that was part of the rundown. Micron, we just did a little bit of a talk there as well. SoundHound coming up to, again, a great play. Like, I like SoundHound. I like Big Bear AI better, but I mean, SoundHound's been a big call out for many traders as well. So shout out there. And we recently bought NVIDIA yesterday in the account as well at 175. Again, just holding. I already have tons of exposure in it, but I just want to get more. So with that being said, fresh start. All right, now get your votes in there, like whatever you guys want to see now. Put them in, and it will start to populate brand new because some of those symbols are a bit stale. So let's go back and wait to see what you guys want to talk about. Put your votes in there. Yeah, I like Webull is a good one. You got to go $sign right into here. You got to go $sign and then whatever stock you'd like. So that's the best way of doing it. Let us know, and then here it goes, gets bumped up again. So, all right, I'll go to Webull. NVIDIA. I mean, we talked about Webull again a while ago. I'll have to double check the price. It's 11 and change that I'm in for Webull, and I said this yesterday, and I'll say it again, and maybe I even said it this morning. Like, we had that huge run up, obviously, in SoFi, and then we had the big run up in Robinhood as well. So when I, without knowing enough about all the different platforms and whatnot, very, very similar. Like, if you're going to look at SoFi here on a longer period chart, you have it right here where basically base down it did absolutely nothing for a very, very long time. So, and to the point where it was like, why am I even in this name, right? So that was a problem. For a while. There's the move higher, here's the move lower, there's the break of the IPO price, and then just the hangout, and then eventually we broke it, came back. This is just a weekly. I'm just trying to show you the extension that we got on SoFi after doing this, right? Here's Robinhood as well. So you're going to see pretty much the same type of thing. Move higher there, break lower, do nothing. Robinhood did lots of things, but nothing that you'd be too proud of. Like Robinhood, sat pretty much sitting sideways since March of 2022 all the way to March of 24. So that was 2 years of sideways on Robinhood and then blast off. Right, so let's now call forward Webull. Now, this is on a weekly chart. I'm just going to keep it here just so you guys can see. Obviously, the weekly chart's not going to give us any kind of juice because we just opened up on Webull. But if we go over to a daily...
It's a great-looking weekly chart.
That's a great-looking weekly chart, of course. But if you go over to the daily chart, then you're going to see something like what I was talking about. So there it is. It's like the Robinhood bounce there, right off. I mean, sorry for anybody that got caught at $75 long on IPO day, but we try to tell you. And then there's the move all the way back in, and here's the base. So right now, I showed you, Webull was basing for 2 years. This one is 24 months, right? This has been May to September. So the 5th month to the 9th month. So 4 or 5 months right here basing. So I think Webull has a big time opportunity here. We're pretty much underneath. I mean, it IPO'd right there. We're way underneath on that one. Or did we IPO here? I'm not even Sure, because this, maybe we IPO'd at 13.50, but either way, the next day was 28. Okay, I can believe that actually. So there it goes. Nice move up anyways on Webull, but more to come. So my call on Webull is, wait for this 18 to break, and when it does, then, oh boy, you're going to find yourself pretty happy that you're long this name. And hey, if it's too much, you can get out if it breaks 10. That 10's been holding out there pretty good. I wouldn't do that. I'm going to be buying more on dips for Webull. But that's what it looks like. So I don't want anybody to kind of panic there. And if you're looking a little bit closer on the chart, there's the great base. So we got a super chat from somebody earlier that said they had bought some 13s long and made a couple grand or whatever. So there it is, man. Big time move right there for Webull if you're trading options or whatever. And I think we still have a little bit of room to break even higher. Stocks like BLSH surprised everybody with a profitable quarter. So, maybe Webull can turn around as well. I do not believe that Webull is EPS positive. So I'm just going to double check that before I tell everybody that. And,
maybe on it. If they are, it's adjusted.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. So there it is. On their August number, they had an adjusted of 4 cents and before. So they could turn a positive number next quarter. And if they do, then I think this stock starts going to the upside. If you look at the year-over-year revenue growth from 32% up to 46%, I think there's runway here for Webull. EPS growth better be 99%. But so we'll just wait right here for Webull. A stock I like, a stock I'm still long, and no plans of selling any Webull. I talked about OSCR. I'm trying to sell, and you already know the plan for BBAI, and we're almost holding our last 40% or so of that for the dream there. So I mean, the accounts are, pretty much at all-time highs, like the PA and the swing account. I mean, thanks to JP Morgan. I know it fell back in here a little bit, but that's been such an epic run. We talked about one of the stocks that Neil reviewed before. I think it was, it was one on the rundown that had like 6 or 7 or 20 straight up days. This is, for a major bank, this is cruising right now. So we're definitely liking some JPM right now, but also Netflix could be something. So there's something there.
That was Plug.
Plug. Yeah, it was on the
only time you will ever hear Plug Power compared to JP Morgan. Let's go to Adara. Well, maybe not. You never know.
Let's take a moment to thank our friends at Beta Pro by Global X Canada. We have exciting news for Canadian sophisticated traders. Beta Pro by Global X Canada has just launched 6 new triple levered ETFs offering 3 times bull and 3 times bear exposure to the S&P and TSX 60 semiconductors and U.S. Treasuries. Even better, they're offering a special fee rebate dropping management fees to just 65 basis points until December 31st, 2025. These ETFs also employ currency hedging to seek to neutralize U.S. dollar exposure, providing performance that may more accurately reflect the underlying U.S. equity indices. If you're a tactical, sophisticated trader who's looking to amplify your performance, check out betapro.ca/3xdaily to learn more. Back to you.
Thank you, Adara, for that, always. And look, if you're looking to take a spin, I see a lot of people talking about Oklo and Rigetti, so the quantum names, the energy names, certainly in play. Remember, there was a headline, OpenAI and Oracle as well. Not that I'm necessarily, like that. We get a lot of these headlines that could be at least partially attributable to why like Oklo was bouncing off of the lows so well, right? Like any data center deal, and some of the energy plays seem to like that really well here. That could be an Oklo. I don't know if it has the juice to break out. Volume's not that great. Unfortunately, it's not helping SMR at all. This is another day. I feel like this was happening. It happened a couple of weeks ago where Oklo was good and SMR not so much. It just didn't want to seem to go. Like this is down 6 points. The good news is holding the 50-period moving average. Some of these growthier names, like this is another stock. Like personally, I sold some in front of 50. But it's like if you don't ring the register, these companies aren't making money. And if we enter into one of these pockets in the market where valuations start to matter again, these things can, I chuckle, but you could lose 20-30% like in a heartbeat. That's how these things will go to the downside. And that's a big rejection yesterday. I didn't get a chance to be able to see what it looked like when it rejected 47. but that was pretty clean, like double top rejection, continuation today. I'd at least be semi-concerned about this name. Oklo's doing much better, but even that one could be in some trouble. Rigetti is up 110% in 15 days. I don't know if that is true, but it certainly feels like it. 110%, yeah, it's doubled. I'm not going to count how many bars that is, but 15 into 30. Rigetti is just flat out in pure squeeze mode. You have to remember, I think that contract that they got might have been last week or maybe it was 2 weeks ago that was for like $15 million over 3 years when the market cap of this thing is in the billions. It puts a little perspective. You did have IonQ with its, they had a headline today, IonQ, with a quantum networking deal. Just know what it is that you're getting into. This is a great vehicle for trade right now. It's got great momentum, no question about that. I could never wrap my head. If you're trying to think about it fundamentally up here and buying these tops, then you're just going to rack your brain. It's not going to make any sense because the valuations are just nonsensical here. Like you're buying it for momentum, I think, especially at these levels. And when you accumulate here, there's some sense to accumulation breakouts. Like when it's accumulating at the 50-period moving average, and you trade it here, to get out there. Like that's why I like Webull at 10. There was accumulation on the stock at $10. So whether you liked it fundamentally or not, if you did, helps. If you didn't matter. With Rigetti, I couldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole up at these levels. But yeah, let's be real. This stock is absolutely on one. Congratulations if you happen to have it. I'm in QU. I'm in D-Wave, so D-Wave hasn't been doing a Rigetti lately. I'll tell you that much.
No, I went from Rigetti. I got $6 to $9 in one day, like almost a year ago.
When it goes, it's silly.
We just stopped it at that point. So, yeah, I don't know. What's up to John here in the chat goes, there was a reduction in Tesla Model 3 prices in Canada, so that would be nice. I was going to say I want to get either going to wait for that Rivian or a Model X or something like that. For the wife, we need a little bit more cargo space, obviously. Although the Model 3 is fine. It fits my golf clubs in the trunk and the hockey gear and even more stuff. I mean, it's actually quite big, but just the roominess inside. Sometimes we travel with the 2 kids, so it would be bigger to be just better than just a little small sedan.
Nice.
Right there, yeah. But, okay, but right there's the TQs. We just got, again, another one, so hopefully there's not too many red lights ringing behind the Maple Leafs goaltender tonight, but there it is right there. Nice move back in for the TQs, man, as we continue to take out profits. Now $2 in the money on that one right now, so we're pretty happy with the way that's been performing. Yeah, for me, on the quantum plays, I mean, just a great mover. Obviously, I'm not going to go over them again, but, that's playing the right sector at the right time, which is why that's what brought me to Big Bear AI in the first place. It's not like I knew anything about the company. Just was looking at the chart and calling it that baby Palantir. All right, so that's Micron. Broadcom's been on a little bit of a down pull lately, as far as I thought. Let me check. Yeah, so let me check the chart here just to see what this has been doing as well. So Broadcom, yeah, a little bit of fade action there. I mean, they didn't get, they had that $10 billion deal with OpenAI. And then all of a sudden NVIDIA goes, we'll top that and go 100 billion. So the thing is like, that's not great for Broadcom. Like, I just feel that, will there still be money for Broadcom? Probably. And I do think that there's, room for both these companies, obviously, and all these companies to exist. But you do see AMD and Broadcom a little downside there on some of that news with OpenAI and NVIDIA. So I'm not worried about it. I don't own any Broadcom shares, but that gap fill is a little nerve-wracking for me, And if you break through down into there, I really like this price, though. If we can get a 310, basically giving it all the way back to their last earnings call when Broadcom blasted it up there, and we had that mystery kind of buyer come through, which was OpenAI, and it was for $10 billion. But then we saw the deal with NVIDIA, so I think that sort of squashes that a little bit. But downside into 310 for Broadcom is a buy for me. So if that comes back in, that would be a name to buy. And look, we could use some of the Intel profit that we had, right? We went Intel $19 to $30.70. So that was right there, 50%. So hopefully we can do something with Broadcom. That's a name that I like to pick up on dips. Not much else. Qualcomm, for some reason, This is just showing up on a scanner over here. So let's see, is it a VWAP trade or what's going on right now with Qualcomm? Maybe just hitting the 200 period. I'm not sure why that would just show up on the scanner there, but apparently it is. So Qualcomm maybe trying to break this 169 and change right there. Again, like the stock, but well aware of some of the risks associated in the space. So let's watch out for Qualcomm now. That's not even VWAP, that's the 21 period and the 50 period. So we're gonna wait to see what this name wants to do. Another monster move in this space. This is what I mean by
everything is that high.
I feel like it's just frothy. I don't know, man. I don't want to. The market right now is almost at like record PE levels, the S&P 500. So I'm just like, there's catalysts for this market to fall down.
And Berkshire was accumulating. That sometimes is a bit of a
valuation.
Sign. Like I feel like if a stock like Berkshire starts finding like a level where it kind of looks like people are buying it, a lot of times that can mean, hey, people are looking to get a little bit more defensive. Energy actually wasn't that bad today.
Remember, Berkshire's biggest holding is still Apple.
Oh, true.
Yeah, so if the market falls, like that.
But they got lots of cash on hand, and ultimately, and that's ready to deploy. And they're still seen. At least I don't know. I still kind of view them as a little bit of a somewhat safety play. Thank you for the super chat, Bijo, here. New lighting in the studio. You're glowing today, boys. Power hour in 5. Power hour in 3 now. Not the same lighting. I think my guess is it seems like the lighting, if you're just tuning in, you haven't tuned in a while, it seems like it's brighter because we got the all black behind us, right? Like that.
Maybe. I mean, I think the lighting is a bit different, but
is it?
I don't know.
I can't tell, but it makes sense when you have with this black behind us. I think anything going to look a little brighter. But
the month, I just had a record month in August, and September's trying to catch up to that. So, you know, maybe some of the vibes are spitting onto the screen. So we want to thank everybody for watching again here. So we're doing a lot of things here, and one of them is improving the studio. So a good little look right there. Okay, Berkshire is actually. I'm not going to trade this on the show.
Why is it?
No, yeah, it's moving down. It's not going great right here, but it's at the 200 period on the 5-minute chart, 494. So it's just, you know, a nice move down in there. Berkshire is a name. I know Neil just bought it, but I want to echo that thought as well. I was started to buy this name when it was all the way down, and it was down into, I don't know if it was down into here or into here, and the market was ripping. It did play catch up, but now it's all the way back in there. So I do like it right there, but I just wanted to show you, if you guys, and I don't know if it's an options play or not, I'm not sure. Like, this is just on the daily. This is a 5 minutes. I'm just talking about today. It's coming into an area here, 494, where maybe there's some love to be bought into there for Berkshire. But I don't want to keep talking about this thing. The only thing that's hitting on my scanner is Micron and that Qualcomm. But Micron's, I think, is just you know, outsized volume. They're trying to bounce again off 166. So near you know, sort of consolidating right there. The trade rate, and I don't know if we can even zoom in on this, but right now it doesn't really matter. But there's GLD, gold. Wow, yeah, okay. Gold has been like, you know, we'll talk about this with Brian on
beating the market,
show,
baby.
But beating the market, yeah, this is destroying the market in the last 30 years. But yeah, GLD just absolutely crushed City. I'm long an embarrassingly small amount, probably a couple percentage points of the total portfolio. But that break happened a while ago. I think it's like 270 or so, maybe 255 right there. And I don't want to get out. It's such a small piece, but that's really working. So on the trade right now, it looks like Amazon is leading the way here. So that's, I guess, moving down, now down 3%, and at its day's low is Amazon. Tesla's also on this board here as well. BBAI still up 14%, but on the board. There's your Plug Power down 4.5% today. We already reviewed that, but that was about an hour ago. So let me just have a quick little look at because now we're almost in right now.
Power Hour.
That wasn't bad.
That works.
Yeah, that works for me. Right there. Okay, so RIGETTI, wow, these are 52-week highs, right? RIGETTI, 29.59 right there. Now 31. So they just said, oh, that's a nice story, 52-week high. We're just going to take that out, no problem. Gold also with the 52-week high. What else on this list? Newmont Mining. Oh, my God. Barrick Gold has been, I talked with this big, there's Bombardier, by the way. I talked with this, Obi was talking about Bombardier the other day, BBD. Right there. Oh no, this would be in New York. Yeah, this is not Bombardier in Toronto is BBD, but this is Banco
Bradesco?
Yeah.
That's
and
Brazilian.
This is in Brazil, so I was going to say.
Why? Oh, it's against his dual listed.
Yeah, so there it is, up 1.5%. Look at this little Brazilian name going to the high side there. Maybe Ronaldo grabs some share, or not, Ronaldinho grabs some shares over there. Brazilian Ronaldo, maybe.
R9, baby. That's the best Ronaldo ever.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the guy from Brazil, right? So there we go. Cassava Sciences just up 48%, $3 there today. Mara down 3% as well. But yeah, so these are some of the names that we're looking at there.
48%.
Amazon's interesting at 220. So maybe something's going on there.
What is Cassava doing?
Cassava Science. Didn't we have that story earlier?
I guess it's only a $3 stock.
About science.
No, it would have been. It was yesterday. It would have been yesterday at the close.
When I was, I'm going to check my drawer, my closet. When I was dealing on the other side and dealing with all the offices and opening up offices and training traders around the world and making connections with different brokers and whatnot, I had the IEX on yesterday, so on and so forth. But the Brazilian guys from Bovespa brought me a Brazil jersey. So I'm going to see it. I'll bring it in tomorrow there, and we'll see if I can find it. I know it's in I just don't know if I gave it away to Baxter or something like that. So
I have a funny feeling Baxter's probably chilling it with it right now.
Yeah, I have a feeling that I may not have it anymore, but that was a lot of fun. So shout out to our good friends, which I unfortunately cannot recall the individual's name.
That was a good 7.
But that was, that was Bovespa.
No, that was.
And we could trade them all
That was more than a decade ago.
So if you hit up Real. I was going to say hit up Real Trading, because we sometimes show all the lists of the different the different markets that we trade. Brazil's definitely a nice one. So
Javed, we remember.
Yep.
We had a trader who he just buried his nose into figuring out trading Brazil, and eventually, well, he graduated on it, but then there was some risk management issues. I'll leave it at that. But I had my biggest FOMO trade ever on a Brazilian stock. I'll never forget it. But it's really just about the opportunities being everywhere. And if you didn't hear me when you said Ronaldo, just want everyone to know that R9 is the real Ronaldo and the best Ronaldo of all time. He was Messi and Ronaldo combined, and nobody had a peak like his. And if you know, then you know. That dude was something. His peak wasn't very long because he wasn't known to be like the biggest practice guy or keep himself in shape kind of guy. So
I mean, I am pretty sure that Cristiano Ronaldo is probably better. But I do understand.
If you're picking like, okay, whose career you're gonna have? Because if you're an owner and you gotta have a guy for their whole career, you're gonna take Ronaldo. The work ethic, he's Messi. They're great for like 15, 20 years. But just on the day of their peak, you're taking R9 every single time. He was just so dominant. When
I have that Sharif.
I
take for what
Sharif. If Sharif doesn't say the same thing, then I'm disappointed in him. I'll say that. But I actually looked at Sava. I'm gonna double check with the story because I wasn't here yesterday. It seems like Cassava Sciences made its run in yesterday's trade, like right at the close, and a good continuation, at least for now, in Sava. This is a pretty big squeeze type name. Ooh, that's it's gonna be hard to see. But if you go all the way back to, like, this is January, so it dumped, and then January levels of resistance are holding, like this 3 1/3 area to 3.5. Big levels on the daily chart. So it's held a trend, pretty much almost an all-day trend line for Cassava Sciences. Like, to me, if this makes an all-day trend break, a play into VWAP makes sense. So you get like 330 mids into almost $3 as you're getting late in the day. Double check. Usually we can. Oh no, we can't short this one for free. So I probably have to pay for locates on Cassava Sciences. I'm sure it's like less than 1 cent per share. But yeah, all-day trend break in Power Hour is a setup that I like. So I'm going to pay for locates, assuming they are really cheap.
All right, more covering here on the TQs, man. I mean, $2.20 in the money. It just keeps on bouncing off this area. We already have a couple covers at the day low, so we're just going to continue to watch out for this one moving around. And trust me, man, I mean, I'm looking at everything to see if there isn't going to be an opportunity in here to trade any of these. Come on, CoinGecko. Get going right now. We have had Brett Favre on the show. We've had
Pat LaFontaine.
Pat LaFontaine. No, but what I was going to go with was the rookie of the year from the Magic that we had on that one time.
Oh, Michael Carter
Thomas Worth. Michael Carter
Williams. That's what it is.
So we had him on as well. But yeah, I'll work on getting Ronaldo. I'll just make a couple phone calls and get him in here ASAP. All right, so 11.8 right there for the downside there for Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin's in a big drawdown phase, obviously, as people start to realize that, hey, man, what's going to cause Bitcoin to go up? You know, if everyone's hodling it, then when are you going to start buying more? So that's where I think the 50 period or the 200 period, and we can look a little bit longer for that one. Ethereum, I said it was a fugazi for a very long time. So this probably goes back to 2,500 before it goes to 5,000. So we'll see. I know that's a bold call, Cotton, but I'll make it. And then right into here. And it's not, and look, if that goes back down to 2,500, it's not great for the whole space. So I don't want that to happen, but you know, you got lifted up by Tom Lee and company. It is what it is. That's what crypto is these days. Solana had a great run into 250. You know, I last bought this at 200. The crypto account was at all-time highs last week. We talked about that live on the show. I might double check it today, but with Solana back down, that's not going to be the case. And then also with XRP, right back down to where we most recently bought it, around exactly at 280. So that went from 280 to 310 and back down to 280. This is all in a week. So now this big move down is starting to happen. Solana down 10%, Dogecoin down 10%, Cardano probably down the same as well, back into there. So the highs for a lot of these names still exist, right? I mean, you can come in and like, I don't know if Cardano ever gets to $3 again. Joe mentioned something about a yacht. I won't be on one, but that would yacht a lot of people, I'm sure, up there if that ever happened. And the one that's the closest, I think, to getting near, first of all, Solana was there near 300. That could be one. But Ripple's high, I think it's 350 or 380.
Yeah, Ripple's easily the one.
Yeah. So this is the one that's, you know, where's my, right there, more likely to be, what am I even doing here? I got to go to max. Right, this is what I'm trying to do. It's not letting me open this up.
Let me go.
Right here. Maybe if I just refresh this. But anyways, you just saw it on the chart before I screwed this all up. There it is right here. So it's that high right there. We almost got it. We actually got to that high. Pretty much that high right there. And I don't know how to get crosshairs up, but right into there, that's about 350. So we just hit it again. So I think this is looking pretty healthy to me to make new highs. I really like it. And then obviously Solana, I think it was almost the same thing, 350, no, 250. So Solana, again, double touches the highs as well of all time. So yeah, man, I mean, this goes all the way back to July or whatever of 22. So, you know, the epic run that just happened in the crypto space basically looks exactly like stocks. You know, if you're going to use, you know, tops as double top, triple top. I mean, we just did it again. So pie in my face, you know, for not getting out there at 250. I already told you, the crypto space in general in my portfolio is about 5 to 6% in total, but it's still enough for me, I've been silly not getting something out there. So, you know, if that ever happens again, I mean, look at that run. We just went from a hunch all the way down there. That was $100 back, you know, not even April of 25. So yeah, obviously that was the tax situation with the tariffs, but you know, you were already down there and you went up 2.5 times on Solana. You know, so Bitcoin, for example, if you go back to Bitcoin's lows during the tariff time here, and we just have a little look at that, and we'll just zoom out. That tariff low for crypto, that's November 25, September 24. There it is right here. So you're looking at like 82,000. So that did nowhere near, I guess 75 is the ultimate low. Let's just say 75. So that didn't even, you know, Solana almost tripled. So you know, Bitcoin have to be north of 200,000 to keep up, right? But I think Bitcoin is the gold standard.
There's a volume spike here in Palantir. I don't know.
Okay, good. So let's keep going on Palantir, man. Hopefully we can spike higher. I have the news in my ear, but the guy hasn't said anything, so I have no idea.
Something happened.
Are you seeing anything in it?
I'm seeing nothing. I mean, all I'm seeing is the volume spike. I'm not hearing any news. I haven't seen anything in particular, but clearly you can see the volume kind of pick up here in Palantir going into VWAP.
Let's go.
It's got to be some kind of story or something causing the move, but nothing just of yet, but it's kind of obvious to be able to see here. Sava also broke out the high of the day, but you know, that trend break not going to be there. I don't want to chase this move without knowing what's going on, because there's no way when the market's at the lows that Palantir is catching a bid like this without some kind of a story. So my guess is we'll hear a little something, and we'll get it from Adair when we can. Thank you for the super chat, Nick Dubs. We'll give our thoughts on Archer. That's a good one on the daily after we come back from Adair.
Here's the news on PLTR. I'm just seeing through on Benzinga. I just searched this on X to find it. It looks like it's very, very new. But Boeing and Palantir apparently are partnering up to integrate AI across defense production lines using the Foundry platform. Now, in case you're thinking, who reported this? It's not a report. They actually announced this themselves. Now it's populating here, so very happy to get this news to you. This is, again, official release from the, I guess, a newswire here. This is the official public release. Boeing and Palantir announcing themselves partnership for integrating AI across defense production lines.
Boeing.
I found my Palantir hat.
Yeah, the story was under Boeing, which I think Boeing actually might be nice. Boeing looks good. I'm not sure you get Boeing at that 200 period moving average anymore. It looks like it's making a temporary bottom. They had some more, they had some more deals. We obviously have this deal going on, but they got some more sales. I heard Joe talking about in the midday about the backlog that Boeing has. I get it, it's at 12 years. You got to put that into perspective. Airbus is at 10 years. So yeah, compared to Airbus, that's not great, but it's not abnormal. That's just how they roll. It takes a long time. Building a plane is a pretty large process, so there is a gigantic backlog. But it's made it an easy thing to slip these deals in of Boeing purchases into some of the trade agreements because they can make that commitment, appease the president, and you're not really committing anything because you're not going to get delivered for another decade. That's a gold win for a politician to be able to say, I can score a win in a trade deal, but we're not actually committing, we're not taking delivery for 10 years, and you can space out the payments over that time as well. So if you tell a politician that they can get political points now and spend the money a little bit later, I'm pretty sure they like to do that. So I do like Boeing here. I'm stink bidding in front of $200, and I'm wondering if I shouldn't just pick this nibble back in at this 215 today. I wanted something else to buy. I mean, I picked up some Amazon, talk about Berkshire, but yeah, Boeing might not be a bad one. It's not a bad headline either.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I still think there's a little bit more pain in this market to come. I'm going to hold off. I mean, we've been selling a little bit. We sold some Intel. We sold some Palantir. We sold BBAI today and things like that. Yo, shout out Scott H. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. There it is right here. Scott H. Still holding, man. I like it. I mean, I don't know. Like I said to you guys before, this is the greatest or biggest trade, of my career, and I hope that you guys, or for you too, Scott. I mean, if it's not, then that's crazy because that's 170 grand. You're up right there. 1,000 shares of Palantir, $19. So a big shout out and congratulations to you, Scott, for doing that. So there it is, man. I mean, Palantir continues to work out. So that's just a big, huge trade, and that's something that we were talking about from days, and this is thanks to Pratt got me this hat. That's how long, that I've been, trying to tout Palantir around here, and good job there for everybody. It's tough to, I didn't hold it all to the upside at all, but we got it spread across multiple accounts. So we really like Palantir, and we recently sold some more. They're at 180. That's probably going to turn out to be a mistake. I mean, I shouldn't be selling the best of the best, but I did. So we'll wait to see now what happens with PLTR. Hopefully, again, new all-time highs, 190 coming in for Palantir. So, all right, let's have a quick look to see what you guys have voted on. I see something up there down 5%. What is this? ARRY? Okay, we got an array of stocks to look at right now. Very interesting logo array, but there it is. Micron, array, FCell. We can look at array, ARRY. So we always say attention to Adara, because if there's any news on array, then she can come with that, and we'll do that immediately. So that's it. Everything else we pretty much looked at. Keep getting your votes in. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, do all of that. Get part of our, yes.
There's nothing on array.
All right, so then there's a ray of sunshine then for many. If
it's cloudy nights for that.
There it is, yeah, right now here, yeah, cloudy, money storm there for a ray today if you've been short. But if there's no news on this thing, then maybe it's just, again, some kind of a, I don't want to say a technical level, because I don't really think, why would someone just pick this random stock to start selling there? But nice move down into 750, and I don't even know what they do. So right there, array, downside here. I don't know who exactly is voting for this. Maybe you guys in the chat can let us know why this has your attention, because it doesn't really. I
had to look it up. It's a renewable energy.
Mine right now. So
utility scale solar tracking solution. So it's a
okay.
So obviously renewable energy company there, which makes the name might have told you that, but you don't want to make assumptions, right? But Yeah, I don't. Kind of curious. Sometimes we get like questions about stocks, and like with Archer, we got a super chat about Archer.
Okay.
I mean, that's been a runner before. In particular today, like I don't know necessarily 5% isn't the craziest move for Archer, but what I do like about Archer, and I talk about this a lot. Like if you're using a moving average, you want the stock to respect the moving average. Have a look at maybe not the 200 period moving average, but the 50 period on this stock. Respected it. When it lost it, turned into immediate resistance. This is, like yesterday it broke the 50 period moving average. Today is the close above the 50 period moving average. That's something that I like to see on Archer. So this is one of those, looks like it can be a nice little long trade as long as it can hold that 50 period, which it seems like it's going to, barring, knock on wood or anything like that. At this point, it would have to close. It's about like 980 something. So it would have to do a little bit of a dip when it's already bounced off that level this afternoon. So Archer, I think that's a good look. A breakout tomorrow, I think has room. If it breaks like that 1030 level, that's got a little bit of room to give you 3 or 4 points. And certainly would be favoring the long above the 50 period moving average, barring any bad news or anything like that, because that's always something that you have to be concerned about on any of these names. You can like something technically all you want. I can say it's closing above the 50 period moving average, but like these guys would drop an offering, or maybe we get a bad headline and you can be, out of luck right quick. But I do like this look, that 50 period moving average for sure. So good shout out there, and appreciate that super chat, everybody. Tom H mentioning the quantum names are continuing to just go higher. And then I saw Sean Hazel mention Adobe. We were talking, I don't remember the context under which Adobe came up this morning specifically. Oh, that's what it was. We were talking, it was essentially Amazon and the story about people finding it difficult to get out of their subscriptions to Amazon Prime, and then people were coming up with examples of other companies where that was true. Adobe was mentioned. The one I think people were thinking about was Uber, because Uber had some issues with that with Uber One. But that's the context under which Adobe came up. But the interesting thing about them is I feel like we forgot about this. It held this ended up holding the low after earnings, the kind of the earnings fallback. It didn't make a fresh 52-week low, holds the higher low, and is now looking like it could be a small little bit of recovery play. And if the market's heading for a little bit of a dip in the things that have been running, sometimes it's the forgotten ones that catch that next salvo. So, regardless of the context under which it came up, Adobe does look pretty interesting down here. I'm still looking for this trend break on Cassava Sciences. So I paid for locates on this. I don't know what we paid. I don't know, like 1 cent? Not even. Yeah, this was like less than a fraction of a cent per share at Real Trading, but we had to pay for locates. Just want to throw that one out there. But if this breaks trend, we have just enough time, I think, for a pullback into the volume weighted average price. So this, at any moment, if it breaks this, I'm calling it an all-day trend. Just go from the morning, and then it lines up with the afternoon. You break this. It was 340 earlier. Now it'll break it as soon as like 345 even on Cassava Sciences. I was going to double check that story. But the story was after market yesterday on Sava. Where was it? Yeah, the company filed was just insider buying. The CEO bought 238,000 shares at 225. So there was an insider buying. Oh, the CEO of Cassava Science is Richard Berry.
What's so funny about
Rick
that?
Barry.
Oh, Rick Barry.
Yeah, because Rick Barry's the basketball guy. He was, the Barry family. How many? There was like 3 different people in the Barry family played in the NBA. John Barry, Rick Barry. There was another. What's the one that did the dunk off?
Oh, Blue.
What?
Blue is his first name.
Well played, sir. Well played.
Not just a pretty face over here. We can trade. We can make stupid jokes. And there it is.
Brent,
right there.
that's what I was thinking of.
You can go get it. Blue and Raz, where they're twins. So you guys can go and find those guys as well. Yeah, Brent Berry.
Brent.
Slam dunk competition there as well. So
you should know.
Yeah, just a quick check in here. I did want to look at First Solar as we talked about Array right there. Yeah, you guys got it. Yeah, there it is. Blueberry. Good job. Yeah, Blue, Raz, and Straw. I think they were triplets or something right there. But okay, so First Solar, you know, this has been a nice move, you know, back from those lows. Like, you know, it was basically left for dead there. And then this is kind of like, get that garbage out of here. You know, I've sort of coined that a little bit from, what was his name, Jack Armstrong or something, for the Raptors. But right into there, you know, once you sort of got through it, broke through that level, it does come back, tests that 140 to 145 area, and straight upside love right there as we go on. So now 220, 225 coming into play there for FSLR as well. Yeah, they were white, but it could have been BlackBerry as well, right? So that was a good one there. BlackBerry, actually, I believe BlackBerry reports. Now the thing about BlackBerry is
on Thursday, sorry, just to clarify.
Get it there.
All right, well, I'm going to double check. I was just double checking. Thanks, Dara's already doing the maps out on here for that. So I'm going to go into details, and I just want to see, now that we've confirmed it's Thursday, that's all good, that's great. So I'm going to be doing the show on Thursday with everybody, so we'll have this. But yeah, look at this, like the EPS, pretty weak, man, 2 cents, 3 cents, but now you've had a couple quarters in a row of positivity. Obviously, this revenue growth number of negative 15%, negative 18%, but they're in autonomous driving or something like that. So I think that BlackBerry does have a good opportunity to do something in 2 days. Oh, at 8 a.m., okay. So they're actually in the morning right there. So they're Thursday, September 25th in the morning. So your last day to trade BlackBerry tomorrow, so if you do want to, oh, shit.
Yeah, their shareholders are also in mourning as well.
Closed that by accident there. So let me just quickly look at BlackBerry here. And I knew they've had a good move up because I was actually, again, funny times. Like, I'd have no life if not for my kids. But I was talking yesterday to more parents, and I'd already told this to you guys about BBAI and everything. And some guy made a call, and he had said that he really liked BlackBerry, and we talked a little bit about that. So I knew the earnings were coming up, but I didn't realize it was Thursday. Yeah, I mean, I don't like that candle today, but, you know, it's not that bad, down 3.5%. I mean, the Nasdaq's down. There's bigger names down bigger than that. So, yeah, I think BlackBerry can turn a positive number there, especially over the last couple of quarters. Autonomous is going to be the play. Now, I don't know exactly what their model is, and I think before I were to put real money in, I think I want to know, like, what exactly I'm looking at. But, yeah, this looks like it might be okay there, BlackBerry. And I meant to actually check up, you know, what the shortable float was on that. So let me just do that quickly for everybody here. Type in here BB again and just double check what the short float is. 9. So we're at 9%. With a float of only 160 million. It's not, it is a big float, but you can turn that over like numerous times. Yeah, how the mighty have fallen. But, you know, that story is true for many names, obviously, in the tech space. But, yeah, BlackBerry there, nice move down, but a nice move up as well. So, you know, always something to celebrate there. Nothing's really hitting. I mean, that Palantir was a good one. Sava might be a good one. We're still short the futures.
The good news for the good news, one of the good reasons to have the indexes and buy, like, those really quality companies is you don't have to worry about missteps like BlackBerry. The index will correct for that. You get booted when you're no good, and that's one of the greatest mechanisms as well. But it also holds true. Like when you have, and there were signs with BlackBerry. I'm gonna leave it at that, because if you talked to anybody that worked at the company when it was like, oh, okay, BlackBerry's falling off a little bit, but are things gonna turn around? Man, if you we went to school in Waterloo, so I had classmates that worked there, and my roommate's wife worked there. If you listened to them talk about the company, you kind of had the feeling it wasn't going to turn around. I'm just going to leave it.
I didn't watch the movie. Apparently the movie's great.
Yeah, I haven't seen the movie either, but Dara has spoken well about it. You should probably watch
clapped in the theater.
Content.
I got made fun of for clapping in the theater. It's an excellent film. I highly recommend it.
Who makes fun of somebody for, clapping in the theater? People clap in the theater all the time. I
went to see Demon Slayer. Oh, by the way, I went to a 4DX theater. Oh, boy. Amazing. We saw Demon Slayer, the new Demon Slayer there. It's an anime, but it was awesome, and I went with my son. And the 4DX, I don't know if you've ever been to 4DX, they're not D-box seats. They are like roller coaster seats. It was amazing. It was only $8 more than normal. There's wind coming at you. There's mist coming down.
I've done D-box, but not that.
Yes, the 4DX. I cannot recommend that. We went one weekend, I think 2 weekends ago when it came out, and it was it's Demon Slayer. It's pretty violent. It's pretty gory for an anime, but he's 13. And I
was going to say,
and we went.
Because Castle was talking about that one,
yes,
but as a not okay for my daughter.
Yeah, the thing is, it's a lot she might not, like, if she doesn't like battles, the whole movie is like they're slaying demons. Like it's like 5 fight scenes basically, and they go back and cut back and forth. It's an awesome, but Demon Slayer.
She won't watch Lord of the Rings, so that's
Oh, Lord of the Rings.
I'm gonna guess
that's too long. No kid wants to watch Lord of the Rings.
That is the problem. That is.
I mean, I like the trilogy. I think there's 3 of them, right? I didn't see the Hobbit one. It's okay. There's a continuation.
It's a weird
Hobbitville or something.
The weird thing about the Hobbit is like if you like the Hobbit book is better than the Lord of the Rings book.
Infinity Castle.
But the Lord of the Rings movies are better than the Hobbit movie. But the Lord of the Rings books, don't at me, but the Lord of the Rings books aren't even that great. Like it's not Tolkien's best work. The Hobbit was better.
Okay.
But and then the new show on Amazon Prime. I'll save you the time. Look, I love science fiction and fantasy, but the new Lord of the Rings TV show on Prime, I didn't think it was that good.
No, that's a couple years old now. Yeah, I don't think it didn't get very good ratings.
No, it did not get very good ratings, unfortunately.
Man, my wife told me it's a PA day on Friday. Okay, so my daughter has skating in the morning, skating at night, and then they're going to go jean shopping in the middle of the day. That's going to be dangerous.
We had one last week. PA day.
Okay, so this in Ontario, in Toronto, school board must be next week. So, I mean, how they have a PA day already? They started our school started September 3rd. So it's already, or whatever that, September 2nd, whatever that first Tuesday after Labor Day.
Oh, here we got another David Tretsiak dumb swing trade here.
Okay,
if you're just tuning in for the first time, David super chats in the afternoon, and he's got a trade for the afternoon. I wouldn't know what yesterday was, but all buy now, pay later grifts like affirm to downside continues, MU after hours to 150.25. So let's just start. We've already mentioned Micron reports aftermarket, so you think he's betting the downside. I think it was a 9.6% expected move. 150.25 would be about that. I'm just eyeballing it here, so like that's pretty close. I'm guessing you're saying expected move to the downside, because I'm eyeballing it. That's what it looks like to me. But Affirm, whether you're talking Affirm or Klarna, yeah, this one has. Affirm, okay, the good news is it's got a redonkulous trend that it's been holding, whether it's a 50 period or just a trend from the low. But the other side of it is this seemed like a stock that was headed for a breakout at that 100, complete rejection, and now you got some sellers at 90. I'd be more inclined to think when the trend breaks is the jam, but yeah, I mean, it's curled here at $90, but this has had a trend for a while. And yeah, I'd be personally waiting for this to trend break. Whether it's a 50 period or the $80 level, probably both happen on the same day. And I think you short that right into the 200 period moving average on Affirm. Like, why not? Sometimes you get like an IPO in the space, and then that's a good sign for the top anyways. So you get a little bit of double barrel action there. But Micron, yeah, expected move to the downside, almost to a T there, David.
Yeah, here's what, we did this yesterday. Again, you weren't here, but Adara built this yesterday. This is, I'll just open this up. So this is, I was telling you, Sanjay Malhotra. We talked about that earlier. This is why I knew the guy's name. So, but here it is, man. There's the EPS estimate. I think is there multiple slides to this? No, I don't think. Yeah, okay, so if you wanted to, this is on TTV Research. I'm not going to go over it. I mean, these are the numbers. They are what they are. If you want something to compare against, go over there and have a quick little look at that. We want to thank Adara for all of her work, of course, on Trader TV Research. That's a great follow on X. All right, nothing's really scamming around for me there. And of course, I meant the scanner. All right, so let's just have a quick look at Tesla. I thought getting into that 415 was going to be something, and if we can do that tomorrow, I hope not, but I'm not positive about the market. So, yeah, right now, we talked about taking a little bit of profit away from things. If Tesla can get into this area tomorrow, definitely worth a little bit of a look, right? We continue to hold on to this banger right now. We just took another piece, actually, a couple seconds ago, just bouncing again off of here. And I still have to stop right there. I said 60 before, but it must have been 70. It didn't break that 70, so we're only taking out of half of our trade. So if it does break above 70 on an imbalance or something like that, then we'll get out. Otherwise, let's just continue to watch this bleed. I am bidding down here at 102 just because that's the bottom. So if we do get a move back into 102 and change, we'll do that. So that's another out for me coming into right there. AMD was a great trade. I have 2 positive trades, 2 negative trades today. And AMD, again, good one all the way to the upside. We bought the dip. Then we got stopped out when the power went out on us. But my stop out would have hit anyways, right? And that's why I have the stop. And then when we came back from that power outage here again, we just bought it right back. And so we got stopped out, and then minutes later, there's a double buyback right there, and then that was boom to the upside where they're doing some laps at the pool. We didn't get that high. And then when we came back in, it did this. And then we got out of our last little bit there. I actually had like 1% left or something like that, even less than that probably left. I think it was literally a share. Like, I don't know. I think what happened was we may have got part filled there because normally I would have a stop again at that same level. So I didn't realize that and must have just came back in. But anyways, we'll have to see that tomorrow, 159. I still think that's a short here for AMD. And yeah, that's about it, man. Netflix has been bleeding a little bit. Oh, let me check it on Disney because it's the return of
Kimmel. You knew he wasn't.
JK, yeah, Jimmy Kimmel. Yeah, I didn't think it would be a permanent thing, but I didn't think it would be longer than 2 days. But yeah, the market, no likey right there. And we saw Disney get hit on, woke behavior
that
before.
That could flat bottom break for
and yeah, so we had gotten out of some Disney. Unfortunately, I didn't hold to this 124. We're just using past peaks. So in and around here, 114, 113. So if I hold any Disney, it's pretty light, but I should double check the account today as well. And I don't get in and out of trades. Like I basically, all the trades I get in and out of, I try to mention to you guys here on the show. So that Disney was so long ago, it's not even fresh in my mind. And then the other name that I'm looking to get out of as well, if it does come back up to the upside, and it is today actually, it looks like it, Rivian up to 1550. This is a piece that I'm going to start piecing out more and more out on Rivian because we're long either at 10 or maybe even sub 10 if that even happened. Yeah, down into here. So right around here. So this is that whole get that garbage out of here trade. So this goes back almost a year where we did get some out.
It's been that long?
Yeah, man. And then it came back in there. We did not buy it. And that's when I said to myself, if that ever happens again, we're going to get some out. So this is where we last got some Rivian out. We did not get out any there. We got some out here. And then we learned our lesson with Intel. And again, doing it live on the show, like 2 days ago, I was like, this Intel is basically a crock of you know what. So when it went up there, I was able to get something out at $30.70 right into there. We only got out of a quarter or 20%. So I still like the stock. But again, like how many times are you going to go up and down on these stocks before you finally get some out? So we had been long. I think it was down, not off this first move. It was down into here where Intel was like this. It went up. We didn't get anything out. It came back down. Then it went back up even to here at 23, 24. We didn't get anything out. Then it went back down. Didn't get any more long. Went back up. Didn't get any out. Then thankfully we had that huge announcement there with both the United States government buying a piece of Intel and then the deal there with NVIDIA. So NVIDIA invested, I think it was $10 billion in Intel, and that day they gained $180 billion in market cap. So, that's what's good for NVIDIA.
The Buffett effect.
Yeah, exactly, and not the greatest there for Intel. Yeah. So I think Intel continues to sell off. I still own the stocks, but again, gathering, gathering some powder, as they say, for
you gotta have powder.
Hopefully, a bigger move.
As always,
not that Scarface powder.
No, that you don't want that one.
No.
Well, a lot of baking soda, at least. Although that must not have been. That still wouldn't have been that much fun to film. I can't imagine. Like, you still had to snort baking soda. Like,
was it bacon? I don't know. Yeah,
it was something.
I don't know what they use in movies.
You know what? I'm not sure what they use, but if you watch it, like he was still taking it to the head. Whatever it was, that couldn't have been that crazy. It couldn't have been that much fun. But I was talking to my brother about Disney yesterday because he's like, "Oh, should that be a dip buy?" And my thought was, like, I know my brother's an animator for anybody out there. So like he'll be buying because it's the company. He'll like it. He'll like what they're doing with something, and like it's fundamentally. And all I said to him was, "Well, man, the timing because of this Kimmel thing might not be the best time because if it loses the bid over this, then the fundamentals won't matter. But if you're gonna hold it forever, that's one thing. But just understand, like right now, I don't think Disney's gonna be moving on any fundamental stuff. So if you have like a business reason for liking it or like an animation reason for liking it, throw that out the window, at least for the next little bit there on Disney. Unfortunately, and I don't mind Disney, man, I actually I crap on them all the time over some of the recent things that they've done with, let's just say, brands that I'm a huge fan of, like Star Wars and Marvel. That said, that Aliens is so it's unbelievable, that Alien Earth. Sava, I don't know if this is going to make this break. So it's holding the trend line. It's just not really fallen off that trend line yet. So this would be the one. Thought we'd get a nice trend break here in Cassava Sciences. And again, it was insider buying, 238,000 shares by the CEO, Richard Berry, that caused it to run in the aftermarket and hold up really well, 50% to the upside. It's always been a heavily shorted name. And then also, a couple of people asked what had been going on with Palantir. So the reason that volume spike in Palantir was Boeing and Palantir partnered to integrate AI across the defense production lines. It was a Boeing and Palantir story. Palantir spiked on it. Boeing didn't really do much of anything on that news. Thomas Dyson in the chat. I have not seen Lilo and Stitch. Several people have told me it's not good.
Oh, I saw it. Not bad. I mean, it's similar to the.
Yeah, I know you were mad. Len was also mad about it, so I'm like, I didn't bother.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't. We went to the theaters and saw that. I don't know what was it.
Yeah, and my daughter didn't. I showed my daughter the trailer, and she was very much like meh as well. So like if we're gonna watch a kids thing, like if she's jazzed for it, then I'm all in. But like if she doesn't care, then I'm not gonna force her to go see something in the theater because I'm half interested in it. So I don't know.
It makes sense.
Yeah, I kind of feel like I've been watching that stupid K-pop Demon Hunters like way too many times.
People love that.
But it's ridiculously catchy and a heck of a lot of fun. So I don't mind. And she gets so into it that I just have fun watching her sing and dance to the whole thing. Let's go to Adara. It's almost. Oh, sorry.
I just have to tell everybody about eSignal. I mean, if you do scan that QR code, you will get your 1 month free from eSignal. And, Neil and I talk about it. We pull down those charts all the time. This is the thing that I would subscribe for. It's these screeners and scanners. You're able to look at over 500 symbols at one time. So, this is what we're doing. You can connect to also 50 plus brokers. So that's obviously, a big benefit. If you're finding that, who you're dealing with does not attach to your charts and you are looking to trade off charts, check it out with eSignal, man. I mean, again, 1 second charts, great tick replays, and there's the tick data for over 500 symbols, and easy to share. I mean, a lot of charts have this now, but you can share it on Facebook, on Twitter, Stock Twits, and all this kind of stuff. So, just make sure you do sign it up. There's a stock screener right there. So hit the QR code grab 1 month free on us, and then you can pay for your own entitlements, and that's how it works. So if you want to watch the, Hang Seng or the Nifty 50 or whatever, then you are the Brazilian markets. We sort
Europe,
of a little bit about that before.
Futures.
Yes, exactly.
Commodities. They got everything.
Keep going.
Well.
Let's talk about who made all the money right
everything.
here.
Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. Let's talk about who made all the money. Yeah, OTC. Yeah, here we go. TSX, and that's talking about this. So let's go over here. Look, zoom. There it is, right here. So yesterday, there it is. Someone in Canada. These are the top 10 traders over at Real Trading. So we'll look and we'll see. So yesterday, these are the markets that they traded, and this is all US dollars. So yesterday's top trader here at Real Trading over 20 G's. So we say next best trader, 11,000. Then 10,000. Yeah, 10,000 a day. Yeah, just playing around. That's a great number. And then as you come in here, just to show you here, you can also, and I don't know if eSignal has Blue Ocean. I'm going to assume that they do.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I would assume it. I'm not entitled for Blue Ocean.
I'm not, but they have to.
I would say they do. Yeah. So there it is. But overnight trading, right? And again, that could have came from movements in Tesla or Alibaba or something like that overnight. If there was any big stories overnight, I know there's a lot of traders here at Real Trading that will head over and trade Blue Ocean. So that's going to be the overnight trade. But this is who's making money. All right, man. Whose annoying ass voice is that on that thing? All right. So here we go. I'm going to get a little bit more out now on these TQQs. I mean, this has been. I've been holding this literally all day, and we talked about it. We promoted the short rate there. This was 30 cents worth of risk to gain 200 cents. So about 7 to 1 or so on that one. And it's not, I get out on the way down. I don't use those ratios, but sometimes I got to think to myself. And I think I want to thank Adam, because when I was in London and he helped me after that, just think about things a little bit differently and try to hold on for bigger moves. Like yesterday's Apple move was $6. We had a good part of that. And even on here, like when we finally broke lower, I was still holding probably 50%, even at this stage. So that's why we have numerous outs out here, and they're just all small tranches. They're not huge at all. Yesterday's SoFi trade was another example of that. We had over $1 long in SoFi yesterday from the top to the bottom. We had over $1 in Intel. And I mean, Intel's a $29 name, so is SoFi. We had $1 both ways on that. We were short Intel and we were long SoFi yesterday. So normally I'd scalp these out 25, 30 cents. But like I said, for me, record month in August, and then following that up here in September, and we're only, well, I was going to say, I wish we were only halfway through, but we're getting long in the tooth here in September.
September's pretty much over.
Yeah, so we only have one more week or so for
Make sure you get your Halloween costume.
Yeah, make sure
there was a question about what is Blue Ocean. So, I mean, I thought, I know you said it, but we can show you. Blue Ocean just simply is it's a marketplace for the aftermarket trading. And evening trading specifically. We're not talking about like 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock. This is in the evening trading. So if it's like 8, 9 o'clock at night, and there's a news story, maybe, I don't know, you saw that Blue Ocean number up there. I speculate sometimes it's usually one of the big names. It doesn't look like it would have been NVIDIA, because that seems a little bit range bound, but you could see maybe Tesla, who knows. And I don't know what Tesla was doing in Blue Ocean last night, but you'll see pretty decent volumes and decent movement. Like when Tesla had their Optimus event, or any big company has an event overnight, or sometimes in response to earnings, maybe Alibaba will go nuts because it's going on in the Asia session. Like you will see these stocks do good volume and be able to move, and the ability to trade. Here at Real Trading, we can trade Blue Ocean. I know for sure there's Blue Ocean at Robinhood. Beyond that, my suspicion is a lot of places are going to have it. Remember, the market's going 23.5. Right? Like there will be eventually, at some time next year, you're going to have more or less all day trading, and this is one of the first salvos too. You can also see OTC Moon. Sometimes we have Jeff Mandel on from the OTC. They have a gateway to be able to trade a lot of these names. I don't think it's like not all symbols are going to do reasonably good volume, obviously, at night, but most of the big cap tech names, especially when there's news, are fantastic. And there's lots of traders that are doing real well at Real Trading, and you want to just take advantage of any opportunity out there, because news can come at any time of the day, and stocks can move at any time of the day. Just remember, we should look usually at the, I don't know what it was like yesterday, but the imbalances here. Early look on the imbalances. Only one thing stands out. I mean, KENVIEW's there every single day, so I know KENVIEW's in play recently, everyone talking about it, but just note that this thing always seems to have an imbalance. But Snapchat's got a 12 million early look sell imbalance, which isn't chump change. That's pretty big. Oracle, 1.7 million to buy. That's also relatively significant. JP Morgan's is there for a 1 million sell. But Snapchat at 12 million on an early buy imbalance, that's 10% of its volume on the session. So probably worth a watch. I'll throw that one up a side chart. Imbalances in 7 minutes here. Snap and Oracle look like they are going to be the two biggest ones, at least from what we can see. Yeah, Snapchat, that's a lot. If that comes out this big, you should probably see some movement on it. I'd prefer if it was a buy, because it's already trending down with the market. But there might also be like a 355 reversal play on Snapchat. If it comes out as a big imbalance, maybe you just take the pair down or the flip at 355. Lots of ways to trade around the imbalances, but Snapchat's now going to be on watch because we found a good one.
Yeah,
good sized one. I mean,
yeah, I want to get long. Snapchat's one that we talked about at $7, and then it just blasted, so I don't have any.
Right to the 200, to the penny.
We said they get out that at 850 or so, but it was a nice higher move than that. So wow, Snapchat monster there the other day. All right, man, we only have 5 minutes left, as Neil mentioned there, into the imbalances. So we just covered a little bit more at 40 here. And again, we do have that order to get out if it does break above 70 here on the TQs. I just got to make sure. Oh, and now I need to We're almost there, so I need to actually adjust this order because we have less shares now. So I do not want to punch long by accident. So let's get out of pretty much all of them. How about that? If it breaks above 102.70, we'll get out of them all. There for the TQQs. Okay, so that's sort of be my plan of action there as we look forward to that one. I see you are looking at the super chats. The super chat, yeah. Is it two of them or just one? Mine,
I see one from Mike Williams.
Doubled up.
I know you're not the receiver in the NFL. We can tell that, but 6K on open puts. In and out every day for 3 days, 2K a day. No end in sight. Better is next. Thanks, guys, for making the day trading go by without being boring. Thank you for sharing and congrats on that open. But you're taking it a step further because you think better. I'm assuming you mean better is next, like better is going to be a short next, because that would make some logical sense with what you were just talking about. Yeah. I think the setup that we looked at for this was similar. Is BTR has that look that QMMM? I think that was the stock where this is almost identical. Like it flushed, like it did the pop and drop on day one, then it did the hold on day two, and then that lower high. I think it was QMMM, right? And then that lower high basically was what you were then working off of for a while for a short. I think it was this stock. Load. No, it's just taking a while. Yeah, it was this. So there's your first day pop, and then the second day the top has been the top, and then after that it's just a short. So I think if better follows suit, BTR, Better Home and Finance. I get it. These are not related. One's a crypto treasury play, but like a squeeze play is a squeeze play. You put in that top, and then everything's back end. You're high the next day. If it holds that after that, it's like a short till it's not kind of setup. That worked for QMMM. So Better has a similar setup. I think it has to maybe show us a little bit more tomorrow too, though, because that's held up like 36%, and really that's a lot of volume for it to hold highs all day on a pullback. So I think some confirmation tomorrow would go a long way. But hedgies are short this thing. That's just how they roll. That's why it spikes in the first place and squeezes, because the hedgies are going to go short so heavily.
All right, 3 minutes to go. We can check in on Micron quickly. I mean, we're just in these two trades right now. I'm almost out of them all for $1.80 here. But we have pretty much like 5% left, which is why I'm like ho-humming how much we exactly do have left in this space here for Micron, or for the futures. All right, so Micron's coming out. We're expecting 284, which is a monster number. I mean, the number that's coming out for Micron is a huge expectation, right? And so Adara did send that to us. And if you had missed it, I'm just going to get it for you again right now. So this is where it is right here. I want to thank Adara for putting this out again. Micron right there, EPS estimate 287. I think they did like 105 last quarter or something like that. So an absolute monster number coming through there. There it is right there, 190. Yeah, so we're looking at an EPS last time of 191. So yeah, about a buck difference right here. And they busted last year, man, 160. They crushed it up to 191. So we'll see if they can repeat. But yeah, people are really, really excited to see what happens with Micron into the close. And I mean, I think it'll be, if they guide higher and say there's nothing to worry about over here, no, don't look over here, then I do think that there's going to be a huge windfall for NVIDIA, for AMD, for Broadcom, and all these names as they continue to try to gain, again, dominance in this space with Micron would show that, hey, CapEx is still strong. They're guiding forward. So if they understand that RAM is going to be a big thing, then, obviously this chip game will remain pretty strong. So we'll look to see what NVIDIA and AMD and Broadcom and all those guys do. So, join Adara and I, as this will be real fun to do this.
These guys are a triple from the April lows.
Yeah, and they just have to hit the number, and then they have to guide, right? So the number is what the number is. They don't even really need to hit it. They just need to tell us a good story moving forward. But wow, to Neil's point, what a great.
It is just the guide. You're right about that, because Oracle literally missed top and bottom, and went bat-ish crazy because of the guidance.
Yep.
So I think look, it doesn't mean if the guidance is meh, you can't afford to miss on the top and bottom. But like if you have great guidance in this quarter, especially in this space, you don't have to really go crazy. But yeah, less than 1 minute till the imbalances are going to pop in here. Snapchat early look is big at 12 million shares, but like keep in mind, just because it says 12 million shares now doesn't mean that in 30 seconds it's going to be a 12 million share sell. If it is for some reason larger, then that might be. I would probably try to. If it comes out as like 20 million, I'd probably punch short. But I don't know what's going to happen in 20 seconds. I double checked. There's no action as far as I'm aware of that would explain Snapchat being this large on the imbalance locator. But we've seen it before. Sometimes it pairs off. QBTS, early look of 2.4 million to the buy side. KENVIEW seems to always be there with a 3 million sell. Oracle buy of 1.5. It was actually a little bit larger than this a couple of minutes ago. So we'll get an update. Snapchat comes out. Is it going to be bigger or smaller? Obviously significantly smaller because it's not even on the list. So that's going to be nothing burger. Oracle comes out as expected. QBTS comes out as expected. But Snapchat flat out nothing burger on that. SOUN with 1 million to buy. BBAI was on there, but an early look, but then came out as nothing. So it looks like SOUN might be the interesting imbalance here.
I feel like that top of BBAI, I hope it didn't get hit today. But okay, so there it is. Yeah, we're looking at all that. Let's just go over and see what JP Morgan's doing. So again, nice little dip buy opportunity for JP Morgan. I'm not buying more, but I obviously like the stock down there. So nice move lower. We didn't talk too much. Oops, that's QBTS. I'm trying to click on KENVIEW. So let me see what KENVIEW did today. Yeah, actually. It's going to show up 1.5%, but it's not really, right? I mean, it is really, but it's just been down all day. So KENVIEW had a nice bump earlier on in the AM, and we were up 6 or 7% right there. And then, yeah, like I said, there's no point in catching the falling knife here, in my opinion. You just got to wait. If the FDA comes out and says like, nah, we're not putting that on the bottles or whatever for the acetaminophen or Tylenol, then maybe I could see KENVIEW rallying. But if the FDA is going to start to warn about dosage and all that kind of stuff, then yeah, I don't think it's great. So downside play there. But hey, man, I mean, everyone can adopt and adapt. They can adapt is the right word. Yeah, or you could adopt. I think adopting is great. Yeah. But you can just adapt, and people will do that. They'll just take less, and hopefully, if there is some scientific evidence of all of that, then doctors will adjust their plans of action and whatnot, and move off of it, right? So I think that, you're always looking for science to win out.
I just feel like there's always you can stay away from the mess in the short term with the stock, though.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's no point in doing that. You might as well wait for the FDA to give a thumbs up that it's all good, and then I would run right back into that name. We did get out of a piece here just before the market opened up there on the imbalances. I got some out at 59 or 60 there. We are still stopping out on a 70 break. That's now where the 200 period moving average is to close this trade. So nothing to complain about on this side there. Big one coming through today. We've traded AMD, NVIDIA, Tesla, and now the triple Qs. SMR was a mover today. Yeah, I just wanted to see if it was doing anything here into the close. So down now 8% on SMR again there, but a recent high of $50 has been pretty good. That wick went to 48 and change yesterday. So that's going to be something interesting to look at. Oklo, I think, is going to be eventually. Wow, that's a $140 name, so that is absolutely monstrous as well. So Oklo, upside there. Look at this, just continue to expand up there, but monster move there for Oklo. Boeing had news again with some sort of Palantir deal, plus Uzbekistan, plus a lot of different buyers there for Boeing planes. Really like Boeing again, so 210 area. We've been talking about this as a good dip buy. I think I mentioned it yesterday before all these deals, that if you want to take a little bit of a nibble there on Boeing, I think it's worth it in and around these levels. But that's pretty much, with 7 minutes to go, the market will have a nice downside trend. And yeah, we had the short. The short is by far the P&L for me today there with the TQs. So it's a big one, and we're going to continue to watch this, but it's about to break. So I should be out. There it is. We are now out of that one. So sirens up, man. That trade is now over with. Let's throw it over to Neil and see what he's talking about.
Whether it's a good prop trade in the Qs, we trade prop.
Yep.
Or trading in anything else. It's a heck of a lot easier if you're, instead of risking your own money, trading with somebody else's capital. No more fear of losing, no more moving your stop loss too soon. And you actually get enough capital to make it worth your time. So you can aim for big profits, not just a couple $100 a month. This revolution is called limited risk trading and powered by Trade the Pool. This is how it works. Join Trade the Pool, hit the profit goal, and keep 70% of the profits. Visit tradethepool.com or scan the QR code now for 10% off. We had Mitch on this morning. We'll have Trade the Pool, well, Mitch and then some of the team, I believe, will be coming through in less than 1 month. I believe it's the 13th of next month. So it is the 13th. It's Canadian Thanksgiving, actually. Everybody. Not that you guys care about that in the States, but
they do.
In our family, we still. It's great because we kind of get a little bit of both. Because we get the holiday off because the markets are closed on Thursday, and then on the U.S. and there's a bunch of football. And I always make sure we do a little something. Like we don't do like a full spread, but I gotta have some pumpkin pie when I'm watching football on that day. I have no idea who's playing actually.
Dallas always plays. Detroit always.
Detroit and Dallas, but like there's always at least one team. There's always one team that you're not used to seeing on Thanksgiving that you get a chance to see.
I think Buffalo plays a lot on those days. This Sunday night is Green Bay Dallas, so that's going to be.
Well, our suicide, we lost 2 of our entries on Green Bay, but we didn't really lose because the exact. Like 2 of 12 entries is 16.5%. Literally 16.5% of the pool had the Green Bay Packers. So it was a complete wash for us. So we're still ahead in our suicide league. Hopefully yours are going well. Shout out to Buffalo for winning. I will tell them that much. But yeah, shout out to Henry for continuing to fumble
they're wearing
as well.
On the sidelines these days.
Those are sweet, man. I like that.
Shout out to my brother, got me this for my birthday. So
what up, Mike?
Yeah. What up, big dog? Right there. So yeah, good day overall. You know, again, joining Darren, myself, and Brian Shannon, who's going to be coming through there on the recap show. So you know, lots of fun there, and we'll be talking about Micron. And I just said, what's up, Pooja, there in the chat. You asked, should you hold AMD? You know, my advice would be yes. I mean, I think you can hold half. I said hold. I mean, hold half, hold a piece, hold whatever you want. Just don't hold the bag. And I just think that if Micron misses, it's going to be bad, but I'm not sure how bad. I mean, if you can sort of stomach down to 150 or so on AMD, it's been holding there. I'm really not a buyer of this name. Like, I just bought NVIDIA, which could turn out to be a mistake, obviously, as well. But I just added to the position there. The last time I bought that one was like $105 or $108, something like that. So we'll average up into NVIDIA. But I've been trading NVIDIA. I remember buying NVIDIA when it was $100. It went to $2,500. You know, so the percentage gains on NVIDIA is does exceed those on Palantir. I mean, NVIDIA has been an absolute monster, and I've been lucky enough, and that's all it is luck, that I've been investing my own money since like 18, 19 years old. I started working at 10 and just, you know, made enough money, put it all away, started building the RSPs at that point. TFSAs started happening about 20 or so years ago, which is our tax-free savings account. So just been doing a lot of that, and just lucky to have really followed the Jim Cramer method, and that was just buy the best names and try to hold on to them. I used to be a big dividend guy, but that was stupid because I was too young. So I, switched over. Like, again, when I first bought the very first iPhone, I went and bought the exact same amount of money in the Apple stock that day. So, I mean, it's stuff like that I think, we look back on and always think, like, why didn't we do more of it? But that's why I keep saying to guys like Fabian and Ramin and younger cats around here, right, is to just buy the best names and kind of forget about it, right? The amount of money that your boy over here lost.
Don't sell them.
In some of the weed spaces as well was epic. Well,
but there's a difference between buying weed names and buying
That's what I'm trying
Apple.
to tell people. You want to stay away if you're young.
But everyone's done that nonsense at some point. Like,
I'm trying to tell people not to do it. So hopefully they learn.
I don't think you'll never not chase something, but it's a heck of a lot easier to have shot plays in your account if you've bought a bunch of quality companies and hold them.
Right.
Then all of a sudden it's not the end of the world. And then, because to me, I'm a bit of a believer. Nassim Taleb is like, one of the things he talks about is make sure you have a portion of your portfolio that is explosive growth potential. Maybe it's high risk, but it's also explosive growth, and it's part of having a robust. I guess portfolio would be to make sure that you are exposed to some of that tail end, not just risk, but upside as well. You want a little bit of that. And sometimes people consider Tesla that. Right, like maybe Tesla, or like to me, like SoFi would be an example of that, like that kind of a thing. Well, it certainly looks good now, but when it was at $7, that was a risky play for a lot of people. And now people are still telling me Tesla is dropping. Yeah, I mean, into the close, you're going to see, I didn't see a Tesla imbalance, but into the close, you will see some spikes up. Meta had a bit of a spike there. I don't see Tesla on that locator late at the end of the day here, but sometimes you will see this kind of action going into the close. Tesla, not a very good day, down 2%. And we've talked about some of the concerns. At least I have some concerns with Tesla. The last couple of sessions, the way that it's sold off into slight upward moves, that it's looking like it's forming a bit of a temporary top here for Tesla. And the last time it did something like this, it was a decent pullback. It was 360 and a 260. So I wouldn't be surprised if you had, like you could easily pull back into like 370, 380, and this still looks pretty good on a higher time frame chart. So only about 15 seconds ago. Remember, it's just Micron, the big earnings name that we're concerned with here tonight. As we drop the countdown, whoops, brought to you by Origenics. That's OGen listed on the NYSE. But yeah, let's drop the countdown and let's get that bell rung in. Right about there. I want to thank everyone for jumping on in here. As we said, we got Micron earnings after the bell tonight. We're going to have Brian Shannon will also be joining. Fantastic guest as always. Will be joining Sean and Adara at the desk. I want to thank the entire team. I know we had some issues this morning, and thank them for. We literally had a power issue with our desks, and we lost connection, our trading platforms, everything. So I want to thank the team for being really quick and make sure we got that fixed. Because obviously, we couldn't do without them. We couldn't do without you, the viewers, as well. So, there was something else. There was something else that I wanted to mention. It was that just to recap, there was a Palantir story in the afternoon. Probably the only big headline that came through. And on a day where the market's down 0.7%, Palantir is going to close up 1.7%. It was a Boeing and Palantir headline. Boeing and Palantir partnered to integrate AI across defense production lines using the Foundry platform. And those gains were held. So this was right around where that story came out, about $180. You're going to see it hold on to the volume weighted average price. I knew there was something we were getting at. Palantir seems very much poised to make another run at that all-time high. On a day where the market is weak, you look for relative strength. This had relative strength. This also had a catalyst with that news story. It didn't seem to do much for Boeing, but that's neither here nor there. Certainly did well for Palantir. So we got the thumbs up. Oh, not just yet. We're not ready just yet. But we are. I'll go over to Micron because that's what we're waiting for, everybody. Yeah, because we're already seeing Micron spike. I have it in my ear, but you are seeing some crazy action here on Micron. Looks like they have beaten on EPS, 303 versus 286, beat on sales as well. So top and bottom beats on Micron, but we don't have the guidance yet, and that's more important. So your market recap show, Micron earnings, Sean and Adair at the desk right about now. Go Micron.
What's up, everybody? Trying to get loaded up here. 172 right now for Micron, 172 up 5%. So the numbers are good. Adara, read them.
Yeah, I don't have the guide yet, but we'll talk about the top and bottom line. Q4 adjusted earnings, $3.03 per share. As Neil mentioned, this is a double beat. So they did beat estimates of 286. Sales, $11.315 billion, beating estimates of 11.223. Now, net income, $3.2 billion. Their adjusted net income nicely beat estimates. It came in at $3.47 billion, well above estimates of $3.16 billion. Yeah, sounds like a pretty good look here. Now, their Q1 guidance for EPS, $3.56. Okay, now I have all the guidance. I mean, this is a healthy beat, Sean.
Good.
Guided Q1 adjusted earnings between $3.60 and $3.90, well above estimates of $3.04 per share. Sales, $12.2 billion to $12.8 billion, well above estimates of $11.93 billion. So they had a healthy earnings beat, and they had a healthy guidance beat here, too. And again, it's worth noting, they actually raised their guidance as well, and they still blew estimates out of the water. Great report for MU and great guidance for MU as well. This is not an Oracle situation, no shade to Oracle, where you have a double miss and then you're saved by your guide. Micron had a solid guide, but it's also backed up by a really good performance this quarter, even with their increased guidance.
All right, so we're not really seeing the movement at all on any of these chip names like potentially we thought there could have been, right? So we're not getting the movement in NVIDIA. Come over to the screen right now. It's not doing anything on this Micron news, and neither is AMD. So, well, let me just double check. I'm going to assume AMD's not doing anything. trading. So again, welcome to the market recap show. There goes AMD a little bit here in the after hours. So yeah, 160 up to 160.40. So it does look like AMD wants to go. There's the symbol right there for you. So that's starting to head up to the upside right now. Let's check back in on Micron. And again, those numbers, I guess a little bit of a beat, right? 286 you had mentioned there on the top.
Double beat.
On the top end, so a double beat there for Micron. I'm just going to delete all this and make sure I get that number correct for you. 303 there on the Q4 adjusted, beating 286. So nice number there on the adjusted as well. And then sales beating upside for Micron. So there it goes. They delivered, right? I mean, it was a huge move for Micron on the daily, ticking up there about 5 or 6 straight up days. A little bit of challenge there at 160. Now we get up to 173. Let's check out Broadcom and what else might be moving in the space. Bigger spread for Broadcom, not doing anything.
I love Broadcom.
Check back in on NVIDIA. Right now, 178.50 as NVIDIA does its own thing as well. So it looks like it's the Micron story today. I want to thank everybody for joining us. But right now, it's not doing a whole heck of a lot. So Micron upside right now, not doing a whole lot to the market. Let me check out what's going on in the now. Okay, here we go. Now Micron's starting to go upside again here, trying to take out that 175.
It might be their gross margin guidance. I'm just seeing that come through. So Micron here, they are guiding their Q1 adjusted gross margin of 50.5% to 52.5%. The estimate was 45.7%. So that's way better than expected, Sean, for their Q1 gross margin guidance, or adjusted gross margin.
All right, we do have the chat right here, so Adair and I will be looking at our chat all show. So if there's anything you guys want to tell us or there's anything moving around, let us know there in the chat on my bottom left. And when we go to the main screen, you'll see it right there. It's right into here. So we'll get that going for you guys if you ever want to ask us anything. But let's do a little bit of a rundown here right now. So today we had an interesting day with NVIDIA, obviously, as yesterday's story with NVIDIA and OpenAI. They're $100 billion coming in phased tranches. So we're going to figure out there what that means for NVIDIA. Yesterday's huge move took out all-time highs, and today we're back down just a small amount, 3%, but yesterday's 5% being dwarfed a little bit. Well, that was dwarfing this move, but back in more than half. Remember, it went from 175 yesterday up to 185, and now you're back into 178. So not great there for NVIDIA, but still holding those upside moves there, so that's nice. DOJ versus Google, right? So Google right now today having to look again, the gun's always pointed at Google. They're such a big company, but as you can see, huge move off that 50-period moving average for Google, and now we're just see about their daily chart, which is what we got down here, trying to fade back. But Google here today, not great. Nice downside play, but still better than the market. The Nasdaq today was down 0.7, so still Google outperforming the Nasdaq there today as that comes back in again as well. All right, now we have another battle. Fight. It's Amazon versus the FTC today as they talk about again, hey, what's up with canceling subscriptions right now? So Amazon going to have to deal with that. There's some dark patterns here that they're trying to figure out with Amazon, trying to get like, hey, is it easy to cancel? Is it not? What's up with some of these free trials that they're giving? So the FTC going to have a look here at Amazon. For me, it ain't a buy yet, though, guys. I like Amazon down here at the 200 period. I don't know why that's not loading, but that's in and around, there it is, in and around 210. So for me, Amazon's a buy there. We heard Neil bought some more today, which is fine. I mean, I like the company. If you're trying to get longer, take advantage of a 3% down day to average into your position. That's Amazon. All right, the next one, man, IONQ, upside love today at Nasdaq, a New York name, up 4 and a bit percentage points. They hit that quantum networking milestone with USAF support. They announced that earlier. So that continues to make waves here, not D-Wave, IONQ. D-Wave, of course, QBTS there at Dara, and that just goes boom, 43 up to $75. What a runner, man. That's from September 15th to today, 6 or 7 days, almost a double for IONQ. And I don't know what your thoughts about this quantum news is, but everything just keeps on blasting higher. So, I mean, I love the space, but a little tricky. Are you trading any of those names these days?
I don't really trade them or look at them. As I said on the midday, I'm not super comfortable opining on them too much because I just feel like I don't understand it well enough. But I mean, my view is, if you've got the markets liking it, if you've got analysts liking it, people in the field liking it, Jensen admitted he's wrong about quantum, let it ride. You know what I mean? Let it ride.
Yeah, let that thing ride. I know you're working on a couple different things here.
Yeah, I mean, I've got the screen up. We can kind of look.
Yeah, let's go over here. This is what we're trying to run down. So here we go.
Yeah,
right now, what that next story there is the price target, of course, hikes for CoreWeave. So we're going to talk about that in a minute. And then we have big orders. So thanks to Dara for doing all this. This looks awesome. Big orders for Boeing coming today. Kazakhstan, I think it was, and Turkey. Uzbekistan.
And then Turkey reportedly also set to put some things in motion.
Yeah, two monster countries there for traveling, of course, Turkey and Uzbekistan. Big orders for Boeing there. And then CleanSpark's pivot there, QUBT. So is that right, QUBT and CleanSpark?
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
I put the wrong, sorry, that's the wrong.
Right, that's
yeah,
the wrong. I didn't know, like, did they come together there?
Also, LAC, apparently Trump officials are seeking an equity stake in Lithium Americas.
Okay.
So just keep an eye on LAC, guys. Sorry.
Perfect. We will look at LAC. All right, so let's go through that CoreWeave story there again. CoreWeave got upgraded today. There's been big demand, obviously, in the space. We've seen CoreWeave had a huge move down. They had a great IPO. And then, again, yesterday with that investment again, NVIDIA into OpenAI, NVIDIA into CoreWeave. There's lots happening in this space. And you can see there's CoreWeave's IPO down here, $38, $40. Did make its move upside, then came back into 36. And upside from there, CoreWeave bang right there. Credit to Jim Cramer. I mean, a lot of you guys in the chat might not like me saying that, but he was saying $40, pounded the table on that, upside all the way back in, doubled up, came back into 80, and now CoreWeave's on one a little bit down today, but nice rebound there for CoreWeave today, down 1.6%, but good move there off the 50 period for CoreWeave. The other story that we just talked about was Boeing with their orders as well. Boeing came into a nice level in around 215, good level on the daily rate here, and could be bought, could be not. I like it down here. I like everything at the 200 period, especially if it's a big monopolistic name like that. So Boeing right there lands an $8.5 billion Uzbekistan deal. And then we also have China and Turkey. Adair and I sort of mentioned that. You prefer white or dark meat on the turkey?
I don't know enough to care, honestly. I'll take the turkey. The turkey is a turkey. I don't eat much turkey. What about you, light or dark?
Dark.
This is an opinion that I'm supposed to have?
Yeah.
It's like the thing with like the flats or whatever.
You are supposed to have an opinion. I think
I've never heard of that before. I heard you guys talk about it. I don't even know what that is.
All right. Yeah, I thought because turkey's so different. The dark is like a little juicier. It's like the wing, the drumstick, the thigh, and then the chicken breast or the turkey breast would be.
For me, I don't think that much about it. Maybe I have a problem. Maybe I'm the problem. Who knows?
Okay, what's your favorite? Do you have a favorite cut of chicken or no? Again,
chicken. Yeah, I'm not that picky.
Okay, all right.
Honestly, like a wing is a wing. I'm sorry, some of them are slightly different shaped. I feel like I'm a failure. Okay, let's go.
It's all good. It's all good. Right there. All right. And so that's that. So I don't know. You guys let me know if you guys are thinking dark or light meat. But there goes Boeing. They're on turkey deal. So we're just trying to get off topic there a bit. But yeah, I like Boeing. I think that can get back in and be a good little trade there for anybody talking about Boeing. So, I think today we did have a nice broad market sell-off. If you're going to look at the stock heat map just real quickly right now, we're going to wait for Brian Shannon to come through, and when he does, we got some questions for him. So if there is anything to talk about, let me know in the chat. But this is what I'm talking about a broad sell-off. Microsoft down 1%, Meta down 1.25%, NVIDIA down 3%, Apple down 0.5% as well. Amazon, we talked about that, down 3%. Tesla even getting kicked a little bit, down 2% there today. There are some bright areas here. We do have energy names. Only green spots right here. XOM up 1.7%, so that's nice. Chevron as well, ConocoPhillips, they're all kicking here, so it's nice to see some energy names back up there to the upside. We did have gold hitting all-time highs as well, some consumer non-durables, and this is the shift, right? When you get tech names that are getting beat up like that list that we just said, you're gonna have to find some value, right? So they sort of flock back into other names that aren't specifically tech-related, like a KO. We saw Berkshire holding out today. That's gonna be a Coke name as well. Pepsi, Mondelez as well. Philip Morris and Altria going upside. There's your Monster beverage there, Adara.
Okay, I don't do that anymore. I'm off that lifestyle. I've been publicly off that lifestyle for like 2 months. I drink like the natural ones, but yeah, I don't. Shout out to Monster, but goodbye Monster. Also, you're inferior to Rockstar anyway, so.
Yeah, exactly. So what's up to the Rockstar there?
Yeah.
Okay. So she's publicly off right now, Monster, guys, and those energy drinks.
Yeah,
so we say
other than the natural caffeine. The natural caffeine is the exception.
Yeah. My natural high is just the market with you guys. So shout out to everybody there.
I wish I could stay awake on that.
Yeah. Hey, man, we're all built differently, right? All right, there's Visa and MasterCard also getting downside today as well. Visa, MasterCard, Wells Fargo. There's your Berkshire holding up. And there's JP Morgan today, all-time highs. For JP Morgan. But yeah, the financials had some winners as well there today. So yeah, that's what we're talking about there. I did want to go over a little bit of Uber. Uber had a move into $100 yesterday, and I thought it failed back into 97. Yes, so not a good day for Uber. I still think that what they're doing makes a lot of sense. I thought they would have got actually beat up a little bit more on this robo-taxi, on this Waymo, on Zoox, but the market likes it. So any kind of a pullback for me on Uber is definitely something that I want to be in on, right? So we do like that Uber news there today. I don't like the news, but I like the pullback. Maybe we can find an area to dip buy on Uber. So get your money ready to buy some Uber. And oh boy, we like some Big Bear AI. I don't know if you guys can tell that, but I've been a fan of Big Bear AI for quite a long time now, and by quite a long time, I just mean since this move back in. And when we had that huge move up, I was like, wait a second, what exactly is Big Bear AI? That goes back to January and February when this move was happening. We looked into it, and we've coined it a little bit of a baby Palantir. It's nice to see a deal today with the US Navy. That's when it all started with Palantir as well, getting involved with those sort of contracts from the government that they worked it in. You saw a deal today with Boeing, and Palantir came through as well. So Big Bear AI with a little bit of a deal today, but I took advantage of this move on the way back in, and we bought at 5, then at 4, then at 3. Now this most recent move that we see on Big Bear right there, we didn't rebuy. I mean, I wasn't sure. I didn't want to get too cocky and be like, let's put a whole bunch in there, but that was a good buying spot there at the 200, and we've since gotten out at 650, 750, and we did not get that fill at 850 today. I think it only was a high of 848. Yeah, there on Big Bear AI, I'm just silly sitting at 850. We'll see if we can get that tomorrow, but that's been a really good success story there for Big Bear AI. Open Door, again, we saw better today, move upside. So Eric Jackson, again, had to move downside.
Getting heat on that for it.
Is he?
It's actually wild. So he, basically his thing is, of course, we had that major investor sale too. We had a major investor in the company, its third largest investor, offload a whole bunch of shares. People are saying Eric Jackson, this is kind of your fault. You moved on. Now he's blocking people on X. He's getting way too pressed.
Oh gosh.
So yeah, I mean, it's really entertaining, but it's also kind of a nightmare.
All right. So Open Door today.
Check out our Open Door post on X at GOOG.
Yeah, I was actually just going to show you something else that just hit up on TTV Research.
Yeah.
So right into here. So this is the Google story that we sort of talked about. Let's go over to my screen right here. So this is what's going on right now. Their latest antitrust trial kicked off here in Virginia on Monday. So this is from Adara. Good work here. And they're taking aim at the company's advertising business, right? So that's not good. We've already talked about how their search business coming under fire a little bit with what's been happening in AI and how people, are they still using Google's search engine or not? But we do know that Gemini overtook ChatGPT for the most downloaded app there on in Apple Store. But anyways, there it is right there, the AdX, Google's ad platform. They're worried about this 20% fee that publishers pay over there to Google to sell ads. So we're going to have to wait to see as you get it go. Sundar Pichai right there defending to his grave, I guess, and as he should there. Better than expected legal decision for Google, which really, and its Chrome browser, that really, go find that on X, but that really started Google's move right here. Adair and I were live on the show when that happened, and we're just like, Google's going upside.
And Apple was going upside.
Yeah, and Apple was going, so it was both of those names. So it really worked out there as a whole for Google and for Apple and for the whole environment, right? I mean, let's let these American companies cook. That's how I feel. Any opinions on this?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's an interesting look. I think, this and plus the Amazon FTC situation, I feel the same way about both, Sean. And by that, I mean, the way I kind of see it is, especially with Google, we had this headwind. People didn't even realize the extent to which this was a headwind. Then once it gets, the veil gets lifted and it's living its best life, then the stock pumps, right? So I think if Amazon gets a favorable, I guess, reading or ruling with its own FTC hearing, and then Google gets another win with AdSense, I think it's great. Really quickly before we go to Brian, I want to mention again one more headline. Reuters reporting that U.S. is seeking an up to 10% equity stake in LAC. Yeah.
Okay, we haven't even looked at how that's been trading.
LAC on watch. Reuters reporting that the U.S. is seeking a 10% or up to 10% equity stake.
I want to do one more thing before we go to Brian, but I do want to check out LAC just really quickly here to see what's going on with Lithium America. So, yeah, with that stake there, it goes up 56%, but this name's been getting crushed, I believe, not recently. There's a nice bump up, but if you go, yeah, if you go even longer on this, no, actually, it must not been, didn't they get reversed? Something happened with LAC. Yeah, there was 7, okay, yeah, so the move is earlier on. Yeah, Lithium America, there it was, 20, 25, yeah. Okay, so we're right about that one, just wrong on the Zoom. There it is, boom to the downside, wow. Oh boy, that was another name there, Lithium. And the reason why I want to go to one more thing before we get on, Brian, right here. All right, Tesla, right? So this is another great thing brought to you by Trader TV Research and Adara here. So Melius today, I thought I had Tesla written down as a long today, okay? And so if you read these highlights, you're gonna see the US is a leader in battery electric vehicles, so that's good, right? Despite the recent strides in the Chinese EV space, they're still considering Tesla the leader, and I think we all are. The analysts also noted that they believe tariff impact will be minimal. UBS raises its upweight and its rating there on Tesla. They also go from 431 to 470 and 475 delivery there, and it was on watch. They had their third best week in 2025, and their new registrations in China just continue to go upside. Okay, so that's great news, right, for Tesla. So let me just check out the stock. Right now it's probably up, what, 3 or 4%, you would think, for Tesla probably, right there. Nope. Tesla started the day kind of cooking, right? I mean, you ended yesterday at 434, it gets all the way up to 440, and then it goes Melius, China, downside play. But we were, of course, short all day with the TQQ. I know. We were short the TQQs right off of here, and if I put in my customization here to show you the fills and the part fill, Brian Shannon is 20 seconds away right into here. If we just, these were the shorts I had, Brian. I mean, we shorted the Nasdaq right here real early around 10 o'clock just to see it go whoops right there back into the downside. We really like that trade, and I think there's more downside to come on this Nasdaq. You know who may have an opinion or not? It's Brian. Let's bring him on his Trader Talk. It's Brian Shannon. Yeah, we've got the hats on, hat to match today, my guy. So I definitely like that, a little quarter zip action as well. So we're twinning here today. Brian, great to have you on. How's your week been?
Week's been good. We've had, a lot of these little speculative names really moving and continuing to move. So, I think we're getting a little bit frothy here, though, Sean. And it's time to really be more risk aware and make sure that people aren't making dumb mistakes and chasing things. It's, I think now is the time that if you're doing that, you've been bailed out of a lot of mistakes here recently with a strong market, but now that behavior is about to get punished, I think.
Yeah, I think it's, you saw, I was short the NASDAQ all day and just feeling like, you know what, where's the next catalyst, right? And I think we wait for that. We did get a good number from Micron as that continues a little bit higher. So I think we're saved from that for now. Okay, so I don't know if you just saw what I was talking about on Tesla there. They had a downside day today as that continues to move a little bit lower in the space. But let's just look at Micron just real quickly here. I want to go back to it because I haven't checked in a minute. And actually, there comes Micron pulling off of its highs. So here we go, Brian. I think this is another story where what a move, a triple almost. I mean, that April bottom there, Brian, you and I have talked about many names, $63 up almost into 180. That sounds like 200 to 300% to me. I believe this is getting frothy. And look, double beat with a good guide. And this is what Micron's doing here in after hours, just giving it all back right now. What do you think about this stock? You talk about froth. This might be one of the ones that leads the way.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly wouldn't chase it here. If you've got it, know where your risk is, what your stop is going to be. I think I heard you talk about 150, Sean, and that's the anchor basically from the low that started the beginning of the month. And that's 13, 14 trading days where we've gone from 114 to 170. So, a 45% move in 13 days. Now's not the time to be buying good news, I don't think, because good news news is released often at turning points. Doesn't mean it's going to decline, but because we still have this rising 5-day moving average. But if we start to break down, it wouldn't be a surprise at all to see that 150 level that you mentioned.
Yeah, that's a pretty key level. And I love that fact that you just mentioned there, 14 days. I mean, what an epic climb. I mean, it's just like it's some of the euphoria that's in this market. I actually read that the S&P 500's PE is near all-time highs right now. So you want to talk about getting a little frothy. And of course, that's 500 companies, so we don't even have to pick and choose individual ones. Give me your thought about Amazon. I mean, Amazon right here, a little bit of funny news today as the FTC saying that it's too hard to cancel your Prime membership. Like, I don't even know what that means. I think it's pretty easy to do that. But at the end of the day, Amazon continues to fall down. I'm of the belief, Brian, that especially in a market like this, we just want to hold or at least look to get into the best companies that we know have earnings, companies that we know have products that people actually use, like Rigetti and some of these quantum names continue to get blown out to the upside. Hey, look, great for day trading, great for swing trading, but could get hurt if you get caught too long, right? So do you like Amazon here? I still think it has work to do. I'm looking at 210, 215 on Amazon, but there's a good company in the Mag 7 that I'm trying to dip by. What do you think about Amazon at these levels or even a little bit lower?
I like what you have, 210 to 215 right here, that circle I'm drawing in right here. That's the anchor off of the April 7th low, is that green line. The blue is the year-to-date anchor, and so those come together at about 210, and 215 is the 200-day moving average. So we might, get a little bounce here. This is an important anchor from this gap up, Sean. But if we make a lower high that gets trapped below that 20 and 50-day moving average, then I think it's highly likely we come down into your zone, and that's the place to really look for probably a slight undercut of this level, and then start moving back to, doing some constructive work to move back to the upside.
We did get recent movements in the crypto space, and it's funny because I remember you and I were on here, and we've been going back and forth about, what moves the markets there with Ethereum. We talked about some of those treasuries, BMNR and Tom Lee really moving these things around a little bit now. But Ethereum's on a decent pullback. I mean, I use ETHA as something to look at, and I know that you tweet often about some of these ideas. We talked about Solana last time as well, as that was looking pretty good. But right now we're getting a little bit of a drawdown, which is a surprise to me, Brian, because the Nasdaq is at highs, as are all markets basically, but Bitcoin all-time high 124, looking at 110, 111 today. Ethereum all-time high around that $5,000, now 4,100. So any thoughts since the last time we spoke about any of these names? I think there's a little bit more to go. I'm looking at the psychological level of 100,000, believe it or not, for crypto. I think 102 might be a safer play, but you like anything in Bitcoin? Well, let's leave Solana maybe. What about the two major ones, Ethereum and Bitcoin? Any thoughts about either one of those?
Yeah, sure. I've got Bitcoin daily on the left and 4 hour on the right here. So we ran right into the highest volume node. I think, well, maybe we didn't discuss. I discussed that right here, though, at 118, and we've backed off hard from there. It surprised me that we cut through the anchor from the peak. So I lightened up as we did do that. And now we're also below the anchor from this low right here, indicating, Sean, that I think you're right, maybe down at 108. And if that 108 doesn't hold, that's the anchor off the April 7th low that we've seen two very nice bounces from. If that doesn't hold the next time, then I think you're right, down near that 100 level. And this 102 is the year-to-date anchored volume-weighted average price. Ethereum we spoke about, and that one has finally done what I've been hoping it would do, which is come down and test this prior band of resistance. We got way ahead of ourselves in Ethereum and this BMNR thing, and now we're seeing a little bit of reality return to this market. So far, we're holding this anchor from where this move began, but this anchor down at 30, I'd love to see it undercut that 4,000 psychological level, and then if it can hold in there, great. If not, then the next level would be off of that April low down near 3,200. I think that's a little aggressive for right now as the market, stair steps lower maybe, but I am not adding. In fact, I've reduced my exposure in these cryptos.
Hi, Brian. I want to ask, we've talked a lot about buying things when they're weak or after they've recovered a bit. Let's talk about KENVIEW, because KENVIEW is not just weak, it's actually at all-time lows. At what point, like from a technical basis or on what type of signal would you be looking for to potentially get into a name like this, or would you just steer clear of it entirely for the time being, just out of curiosity?
Yeah, you just nailed it. I would steer clear of it. I mean, it's broken, and there's nothing special here that I can see in this stock. It traded, as you mentioned, at an all-time low. So no one who has bought this thing outside of the last day and a half has made money in this stock on balance. Doesn't mean they haven't traded it well, but this is below the 20, 31, 42-week moving average. It's just a disaster. Focus on the stocks and uptrends rather than trying to, find the bottoms in the garbage can.
I really like that play there with the KENVIEW because I agree with you, man. Just got to wait. Do not try to catch falling swords or knives. That's how people eventually get burned. All right, Brian, I'm taking my daughter to the Maple Leafs game tonight, a hockey game. So we got to not be too long here. I got to get home and try to wrap this thing up. But I'm not going to do that without asking you, is there anything that's on your mind right now? I saw you post a little bit about SoundHound. Maybe if you want to talk about that, or what kind of levels on any kind of stocks are you looking for right now? I think we're both a little froth, top heavy in this market. So maybe even shorting the Nasdaq or the S&P, or hey man, ball's in your court right now.
All right, Sean, I was following up on SoundHound because that was the idea that I left with last Tuesday as we were here. So that continues to do well. I still have a position from, what was my price over there? 16.26. Yep. And my stop on the balance is at $17.17 right now. Perfect. One group that might still have some momentum is these rare earths, and you just said, the LAC just is soaring. So it might be good for stocks like MP. That one's a little stretched, so I wouldn't go after that one. USAR, maybe if this pulls back a little bit and then get going. And the other name in that group that I like is TMC, the Metals Corp. This probably has the best potential for maybe a pullback down and then start to rally like this. And if that were to happen, so these guys deep sea mine the ocean bed. They just tear the hell out of the ocean floor for rare earth minerals. Sorry for the language on your show.
Oh, that's okay. We've used much more language. The MP also a big one there for the metals play there as materials, as the U.S. government did take a spot in that as well. And we've seen this one just rocking to the upside here as well. So a couple great names there. All right, everybody can find you at Alpha Trends. We want to thank you for joining us one more time. Anything you want to promote? I mean, you never do, so I'm just throwing it up to you. I guess go find you over there on X and on StockTwits, and you're an absolute great follow. But you speaking anywhere or doing any engagements or anything?
No, nothing lined up. It's actually kind of nice that I'm not doing that. So just enjoying some peace and quiet.
Okay, great. Brian, thank you so much again for joining us one more time today. Your insights are always greatly appreciated, and the audience absolutely loves you. So if you want, take a second. There's probably some questions for you in the chat as well. So that's Brian Shannon. Thank you so much for joining one more time, and I'll see you next Tuesday.
That sounds good. Thanks, everybody.
Ciao, Brian. All right, we got to wrap. We are doing a Micron video right after this. So we're going to wrap this show up right now.
Don't go anywhere.
Do not go anywhere. It's going to populate right now. Trust me, Ramin's messaging me right now, Fabian. Fabian's looking at me like I'm a maniac, which I am, but this is actually true. So we're getting ready to launch this. As soon as we are done, you are going to be redirected to this video. Adara, absolutely fantastic. This is a turkey or a chicken then, not a cut. Chicken all day, every day. Go Leafs, go. I'm a chicken guy as well, so we'll be doing chicken. Maybe I'll have some wings tonight at the game. Thank you so much for watching. We're going to wrap this up. Get ready for a Micron video. Thanks for staying late with us. That's Adara, I'm Sean, that's Fabian, and we'll check you tomorrow. Ciao for now.